What is going on, everybody? This is episode 523 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Brett is scaring the hose today, apparently.
Take that.
He's not happy today because today is Mean Girls Day, and neither of us are wearing pink. I suggested it, but then I found out, it would really be disrespectful to the original Mean Girls to wear pink on the Wednesday that I see the bastard child of Mean Girls. So that is what we have to look forward to once we're done with the show today. Mm-hmm. So exciting. And today joining us is Sara. How are you?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing great. I'm not jealous that you guys are seeing Mean Girls tonight.
Not at all.
Like
Brett is like, I won't even say what you said because it was.
I have been proposing more and more unhinged ways of getting out of this movie tonight, all of which would would put me in jail.
Not shouting fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah, none of that. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of ideas where like I could come up with ones that only hurt myself. Like maybe I could break my own ankle.
Yeah.
So that way I have to go to the hospital.
Just do the wildest skate trick you've been putting off.
Or like I could go outside and kind of just wait to get hit by a car.
You might like it. Don't write it off.
It's a musical, so that's
immediately.
That's a no.
Okay, yeah, but every trailer I see is so deceptive. They will not show anything to suggest that this is a musical.
I had no idea it was a musical.
Because people hate musicals.
Yep.
Like there's already been an industry report that they are intentionally deceiving audiences into watching musicals with the trailers. So that would tell you, maybe we should not make musicals anymore.
Instead,
people don't like them.
Ruin the masterpiece that was Mean Girls with this crap, and none of them are like Lindsay Lohan's older than all of them, and she still looks better than all of the girls that are in this movie now. What is up with that? Lindsay Lohan, who is my birthday twin, by the way. Birthday twin, yeah, same year and day.
She looks great at the premiere.
She did.
I don't know if she's in the movie. That would be cool.
They wouldn't give spoilers away for that. They didn't say whether she had a cameo in it or not. Look. Tina Fey is, I guess, an okay writer, but I have no desire to go and see this. I'd rather watch the movie again or reruns of 30 Rock if I have to get my Tina Fey fix, right?
Well, it's just like, what if we did Mean Girls in the present day where they have TikTok and they're Gen Z and they're annoying and fat?
That would be funny.
That's literally what it is.
Oh.
It's not funny. It's not funny at all.
It's not funny.
It's
no laughing matter. It's tragic.
And Mary went fairly viral with that. With the post about Renee Rapp.
Yeah, and I thought I was going to make more money off of that tweet. It got like 13 million views.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of engagement from a lot of people who were very mad at me for calling Renee Rapp fat. I stand by what I said.
Is she fat?
I said what I said.
She said what she said.
Okay.
She was wearing...
Look, she's not Rachel McAdams in 2004.
Right.
Yeah. So
She's not just too soon.
I would say she's like clinically overweight.
Okay.
But she's not obese.
Yeah.
But she's not Regina George.
Right.
Who is fretting about gaining 3 pounds. That's not you.
Just iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic.
I'm going off.
We have a bunch of stuff to talk about today as I dread this movie that's coming this evening. It's kind of like
just try to distract yourself.
Yeah, there's like a countdown clock on my sanity right now. So it looks like The Last of Us Season 2 has found their Abby. It is actress Caitlin Dever. You might know her from Last Man Standing or perhaps from Dope Sick. I know her as Loretta McCready from Justified. So we'll get into that. They're already claiming that she's going to have to get off the internet because the trolls are going to come for her. Blech. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get into Lil Nas X has chosen to once again come for the Catholic Church. He's mocking Christianity in more than one video here, and also with this new album cover that's come out. So we're going to get into that, I'm sure. Mary has a lot to... It's really funny. Whenever we covered him before, I always felt like you were just like, like, because he's just kind of like an edgelord, so it's kind of easy to just overlook it.
Wait, when did we cover him before?
Didn't we cover? Oh no, we didn't cover the shoe blood incident. We covered something else.
I thought that the shoe blood
that was a long,
thing
was
before I showed up.
Yeah, it was like 2020. But so we'll talk about that. Also, Mary found this absolutely unhinged article about that's basically pondering Taylor Swift's sexuality. It's in the New York Times, and it's really QAnon for people who care about gender. If you read this thing, so
it's queer-anon.
Yes, exactly. I'm
going to let everyone know that Brett coined the term queer-anon today.
Yes, that one.
And we'll continue using it.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that. And also, there's this crazy story about the police are investigating a grape that happened in the Metaverse. If you don't know what grape means.
I think we are allowed to say the word on YouTube now. They relaxed TOS, but people are still...
People still clench when they hear it. So, yeah, so we'll get into that. It's kind of interesting and dystopian when you think about it. So
I think it's absurd, and because it's absurd, it's funny. I'm sorry, it is.
There you go. Well, I just heard on good authority from Cat Williams that rape jokes are never funny, so apparently I'm not supposed to laugh. That's what he said that in his...
Did he now?
Yeah, he did. So we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff, but before we get started, guys, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. We have passed 94,000 subscribers. We are almost at 95, and we are working our way to 100,000 subscribers, which is very, very exciting.
PCC is inevitable.
Yes, it is, and we're gonna get the silver play button. We're gonna cut it in half, and we're gonna, yeah.
Very exciting.
Yes.
Is it cake or a silver play button?
I'm still mad about those. I'm still waiting for just one where it's the thing that they claim it is, like where it's not actually cake. Like just once.
You want it to be a real turtle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's always cake, or like the ones that I always hear, is it cake or steak? And it's never steak. I would like it to be steak just once. Just once. Sounds good.
You deserve that.
So we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. So hit the like button on this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Please remember, all super chats $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read them right then and there, and then we will get back on topic as quickly as possible. Yesterday, people had a lot of stuff to say about the concept of ecosexuals that they wanted to share.
That topic was unexpectedly a hit.
You thought it was unexpected that people wouldn't want to talk, that people wanted to talk about people who want to have sex with trees? I knew that was going to be a hit the second we talked.
Have you heard of that? Have you heard of
I have never heard of that.
ecosexuality?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll spare you the full
It's amazing.
scope of the issue, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was horrifying.
I put a poll up, ladies and gentlemen. I asked you guys, are you excited for The Last of Us Season 2? I'll leave it up through the first topic. It's right now 83% say no.
Ooh,
So
they said 100K blue hair Brett. Is it happening?
come here. Come here. Are you watching? Are you listening? Listen carefully. It's never going to happen. It's never, ever, ever going to happen. I'm not Destiny. Sorry. I'm not
Have
kidding.
you ever dyed your hair a different color?
No. Blonde. When I was younger and when these people forced me to against my will on here. Also, the worst part is like whenever I was getting stuff done to my hair, I had to explain why I had blonde hair.
You don't need to explain yourself.
It came up, right? Because we were talking about work.
Casually came up.
It came up. Well, I mean, it's a hair stylist.
Right.
I have hair. We're talking about hair, and I'm explaining what it is to like. First, then you have to explain what the hell a crisis party is, which is a whole thing.
People on the internet paid me to
basically
dye my hair.
Yeah, it was ritual humiliation via.
Did that one hairstylist ever get back to you?
No.
Was she the one that dyed your hair because of the crisis parties?
No, it was a different lady that dyed it.
Okay.
But that lady, no, she did not. And I had another lady cut it last time at the same place. Here's the thing. I only went to that other lady like one or two times. So I don't remember exactly what she looked like. So I was like, she could have been there yesterday and I wouldn't have known. But if she was, I hope it was really awkward for her.
Yeah,
I hope she
yeah.
felt bad.
Serves her right.
It is, exactly. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? I want to share this with you first. It's maybe the worst poster I've seen for a movie in a long, long time. It's for the upcoming Madam Web movie, and it looks straight out of like 2006. It's not good.
They all look good in their costumes, but the Photoshop is terrible.
Yes.
This is the Chinese poster, though. So maybe they just thought bad Photoshop appeals to the Chinese box office?
I guess, maybe. I couldn't believe that it just looks so mid.
Then they also put Dakota Johnson on a bottle of ocean spray in China.
Yes.
So this is their whole marketing strategy for the Chinese box office
This is like how you would market a straight to DVD movie.
Yes, yeah, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I miss the straight to DVD movies.
They said they hired the worst marketing firm in the world for this movie because why are we getting news from ocean spray bottles?
Well, I mean, it used to be pretty common to have like superheroes on. Like I still have the McDonald's cups from Batman Returns, like those really iconic. You've probably
How much are those worth?
I don't know.
You think you could get some good money for that?
They're no, because mine are pretty faded. Like they've been through the dishwasher quite a few times. I didn't get them as
run
collectibles.
through.
Yeah,
Isn't
they've been run through. Thank you for that image. There's a $20 super chat here from Darth Daddy. Says y'all make AAAB Iraq suck less. Oh, is that Air Force Base?
I don't know.
Hopefully the coffee shop will be ready when I get back.
Here's hoping.
Oh, here's to hoping.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's their Air Force Base out there, but I'm hoping that you're having a good day, man.
Thanks for your service.
I'm assuming it's a man, given the name is Darth Daddy.
Never seen that username before.
Could be wrong. What do I know? Yeah, like, but there. I mean, it was pretty common. Do you guys remember like when Mountain Dew had Game Fuel and they always put the Halo characters on the cans of Mountain Dew?
I noticed they always advertise video games on Mountain Dew and DiGiorno pizza.
It's see, they know their target demographic,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the only better way would be if it was like chicken tendies and pizza rolls, which is good, right?
Chalky milk.
Know your. See, I've actually turned around on that one. Okay,
What?
so I was making fun of the chalky milk based in chalky milk pilled. Well, I had chocolate milk for the first time in ages the other day, and it was delicious.
It's underrated. It's slept on.
Like
It's so good.
Like as somebody who's not a huge like milk, unless it's cereal. Like I was drinking it, and I'm like, okay, this goes.
It goes. It doesn't
How'd
go
you
hard.
make
It goes.
How did
goes.
what did you use? Did you use the powder? Did you
No,
use
I
syrup?
just from the store.
From the store, just chocolate milk?
Just bought it from the store,
Yeah.
and it was one of those random purchases that would just never be. I've been branching out since quitting soda, so like it was like, oh, chocolate milk doesn't sound great, but it doesn't sound horrible. It was also cold out. I probably wouldn't have done that in the summer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Next,
yeah.
you got to try strawberry milk.
That's disgusting.
Strawberry milk is gross.
No, that's
Sorry.
disgusting. That's a hate crime as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's a hate crime against your taste buds.
It doesn't even taste like strawberries.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Yep. I'm knocking it right now.
I've tried it and I'm knocking it.
Both.
It's,
I have
delicious. It's like strawberries and cream. How could you not like strawberry milk?
That's
It
just,
does not
just
taste
no.
like that. No.
It does.
So yeah, I just don't think this movie's kind of DOA. Like it's still the worst trailer that I've seen in a very, very long time. Oddly enough, to the Billie Eilish song "Bury a Friend."
Yes.
And funnily enough, guys, we always make the joke about how every movie trailer has the dark and mysterious version of a song that they're remixing. The Babylon Bee even made like a meme of that recently. And it's a guy at a computer with his glasses down. So it says like, editor diligently searches for dark remix of song for movie trailer. And just knowing me,
We need a new formula. I want to go back to the not irony poison trailers of the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s that have the narrator that tells you exactly what the movie is about. It's like, he was just a normal suburban dad.
and she was just a
Yeah.
Do they still use? I don't watch Hallmark movie trailers, but I imagine maybe the Hallmark trailers still do that. Or it's
don't
like
know.
he was a small town farmer, she was a big city executive, and together, like they need that guy. Yeah, like there's a note of happiness and sincerity that came from those types of trailers.
Neoliberal cosmopolitan women crave being saved by a small town masculine dude.
Yes.
It's true.
I always love in those where it's that has become a trend this year more than any year prior about the people making like fake Hallmark movie trailers or fake like it's like how to do a Hallmark movie in 1 minute because that's exactly how long your Instagram short or your Instagram reel can be. And it's it's the trope. She's like, oh no, I'm in from out of town, my car broke down. The other one is like, why does this lady's like, why does everybody in this town have a Christmas name?
Her name's Noelle.
Yeah, well, no, she was just like, Noelle, huh? It's like, Prancer? Really? There's a $20 one here from That Stands Tastic. Says, okay, I just heard that you don't like strawberry milk. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. Eddie Murphy as Mushu in the original Mulan. I haven't watched the original. Have you ever seen the original
Yes.
Mulan? Yes.
Oh, I love that movie.
You love that one, right?
Yeah.
I think we talked about that. Like, you're a huge fan of that. One of my favorite memes last year was Post Mulan, and it's Post Malone, but he's the face of Mulan.
Did you guys watch the live action one?
No, I
it.
Oh,
didn't.
it's blasphemous.
Yeah.
It's so
Plus,
bad.
like a lot of people had a problem with the whole, thanking the slave camps and Well, it was filmed near in like camps where they're keeping the Uyghur Muslims.
Oh wow!
And they thanked the camps in the credits of the movie.
Yeah, that movie should have never been made.
So just remember, whenever somebody at Disney's telling you that you're a bad person because you don't care about the climate, just remember, you pick your outrage. Pick what you're mad about, guys. All right, bad news for people over at Amazon. Looks like there's going to be several hundred layoffs across Prime Video, Amazon, and MGM Studios. This is a problem because Amazon Prime is still the absolute worst user interface of any of the streaming services. It's awful. It's terrible.
They almost take pride in it.
They do. Okay, so it's like there's a thing where it's like you're scrolling through it and you click on a show and you think it's going to bring you to the show. No, it just brings you to just that season of the show. Who the hell does that? Like, why am I going to click through something and like, so I'm looking, it's like season 1 of this show. Why would the next show over be season 4 of something else? You psychopath. That's insane. But it says, Amazon is laying off several hundred employees at Prime Video. And it says, quote, "This is a difficult decision to make and one that my leadership team and I do not take lightly." I love the corporate speak. This is from Mike Hopkins. He wrote in an email.
It's hard to say goodbye to talented Amazonians. Do they call themselves Amazonians?
I'm guessing that the salaried workers encourage the hourly workers to do so, and the hourly workers detest it.
Who've made meaningful contributions on behalf of our customers, team, and business. Thank you for your dedication and work. To help with the transition, we're providing packages that include separation payment, transitional benefits, blah, blah. What is the name of that producer who was at fault for Rings of Power?
Oh, I don't even know.
Jennifer Salke.
Was that who it was? Was that was she the producer of the show, or was she? Oh, she wasn't the showrunner. She was the producer.
Yeah.
Like the when she's
basically
not losing
the
her job.
Kathleen Kennedy of Amazon Prime.
She's not losing her job.
No. She's not going to be laid off,
It
although
says,
she deserves it.
I expected this to happen for the MGM workers because they bought MGM. So anytime there's any type of merger or acquisition, jobs get lost. Obviously, as they take the people, they keep the people that they want, and then they put their own people into positions of leadership under them and get rid of, because they can't always trust the people. They're like, look, it's the same thing when you become president, right? You bring in your own staff and stuff like that. So corporate downsizing. And Amazon Prime, which, to be fair, right now is making Reacher, which is the only show that I've watched in the last couple of years that I actually really, really like. But we also are going to have to worry about the upcoming all-female directed Rings of Power Season 2. I'm sure that's going to be a huge hit. It's going to get gazillions of views, and everyone's going to love it unanimously. I have no doubt about that. Press X to doubt. Press X to doubt. So just thought I'd mention that I was reading this other article that was basically talking about all of the jobs lost this year from Hollywood, and they said a great majority of them weren't even strike related. That the hiring policies are just down across the board, across all industries in Hollywood. All the different subspecialties within these things, and that's only to happen more as they become more picky about what content they put out, supposedly, as they keep talking about that they're going to be putting out less stuff and putting more care into what actually is made, right? So if the idea is that there's less output, well, that means there's just going to be less jobs to go around if they're making less things. So
they finally care about making money? That's crazy.
They don't. I don't think that they actually do, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, this is an interesting one because Tom Cruise is seeming to partner with Warner Brothers Discovery. As you know, he's been working almost exclusively with Paramount the last couple of years because he's been doing all the stuff with Chris McQuarrie and Paramount Studios to make the Mission Impossible movies. They also did Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. But it says, per the official announcement below, Warner Brothers Discovery and the actor will jointly develop and produce original franchise theatrical films beginning this year. A lot of people believe that means that we'll be getting that Edge of Tomorrow sequel that they've been talking about for a very, very long time. Certainly that's one of people's... they like that one from Tom Cruise more than a lot of them. So that one is very, very possible because it's from the same studio. It says it's been said that Edge of Tomorrow sequel is going to happen for a while now. So maybe they'll put that in development. Interestingly enough, the news follows. It said Warner Brothers is interested in taking over Paramount, where he's still allowed to work because this is not an exclusive rights deal. He's allowed to go develop things at other studios and stuff like that. He's also one of the few people, if you really think about it, who has enough power within the industry where if he inks a deal with these people, as Mary made fun of me earlier for typing that word in the description box.
Who says that?
People who write trades, apparently. But the idea is that he's got enough power in the industry that he can actually have real say over what gets made and how things are made, whereas most producers just aren't going to have that same level of clout that he does.
David Zaslav said, we're on a mission to bring Warner Brothers back.
Yep.
But when did it fall from the height of its success?
I don't think it's ever really reached the heights that they thought it would when they started making the DC universe or the DC extended universe, because none of those movies really lived up to the expectations that they want to, especially if you're trying to compete with Marvel, which, for all they've fallen off now, was a powerhouse from the years 2008 to 2019. So I don't think that they've ever really returned to the glory that they've been sold now, what, 3 times? From AT&T to Warner Brothers Discovery, and I forget who it was before that, but they keep getting sold because they're not able to turn it around.
We have the best resources, the best storytelling IP, the best talent in the business.
Yep.
And we need to bring Tom Cruise back to Warner Brothers.
Look, if I can get just another movie with Tom Cruise running full speed across the screen like he always does, and he's always running, riding a motorcycle, or flying a plane.
Has he played a superhero?
He's too old to play a superhero.
No, I mean,
now.
people in here are basically saying they want him to play Hal Jordan from the Green Lantern. They want him to play Green Lantern.
Okay, yeah, because that's what the photo depicts him as.
Yeah.
So I was confused. I
There
was
was
like,
also-
did I miss him as Green Lantern or something?
No, but also people speculated that he was going to play an alternate version of Tony Stark at Marvel for a while, which I think.
I mean,
actually,
don't you agree that he's too old?
Yeah.
He's just as old as whoever originally played Iron Man. What's his name?
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
He's like 60.
He's like 60 now, or he's like 58, or like. I mean, he could play like an older hero like that, right?
guess.
But I don't know if he doesn't need to. He doesn't need the crutch of the superhero industrial complex that we now have in Hollywood, right? So he can keep making his own movies. What I'd like to see him make is another movie in the vein of Collateral, where he doesn't play a good guy. He doesn't need to always play a good guy. I like that.
And I think he would actually elevate the superhero movies. I'm not saying he needs the superhero movies as a crutch. I think it would work the other way around.
Yeah. And I still love him in the Mission Impossible movies, so I'll always have those to go back to. Like, we get however many superhero movies a year. We don't get necessarily a big budget spy movie every year all the time. Like, you get a James Bond movie every couple of years. You get a Mission Impossible movie every couple of years.
And
this year we're going to
few-
get Argyle, I guess, if that counts, but that's not a big budget. That's a new property.
Would John Wick count?
That's not really that's just an action movie. It's like an assassin action movie, but in the same vein. Ooh,
Mission Impossible 7 flopped though.
because it was so expensive to make. Because it had the highest, but it was like the most expensive movie ever made, and the new one is already done, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure they're nervous about that now too, given the fact that the last one didn't make the money that they wanted it to make. That's concerning because a lot of people believe that it was going to translate from the money that Top Gun Maverick made.
You know what else doesn't make the money that they wanted to make? This
What?
girl's boyfriend, who just proposed with a silver ring instead of a golden one.
Oh my God.
The tragedy. Oh, the humanity. TikTok are slammed for complaining about boyfriend proposing with a silver ring. Here was her caption: "I'm so pissed. He proposed with a silver ring even though I'm a gold girly.
She should have
He
been
must not pay
banned.
attention to the little things."
She should be banned just for saying gold girly.
A gold girly. Yeah. I think she's trolling. She filmed him while he was sleeping, which is kind of weird.
Serial killer-esque in a way.
Yeah. So I do think she's just trolling for attention with this. But some commented, it's not about the ring. It's about the fact that he didn't notice or care about such an important thing for her.
This is how women shift the discussion, okay? It's never like, I want my man to be rich. It's, I want my man to be successful and driven. He has to be driven and successful, which really, when you translate it, means rich.
Okay, but look at that rock, though.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a matter of money.
It's funnier if it's fake.
Yeah,
She doesn't
might
even
be.
notice it's fake. All she notices is the color.
Most people wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like taking it off. Like,
I'm sure that a lot of women get proposed to with
ring.
fake rings, and they're never the wiser.
I'm sure somebody will start a TikTok trend one day where it's like, I just got proposed to, and they take out a little mirror and they test to see if it cuts glass.
Well, I just watched Breakfast at Tiffany's, and Audrey Hepburn was happy with a Cracker Jack ring.
That's a guy's idea of romantic because it's cost effective.
It's fantasy.
It's very cost effective. So what you need to do here is he's got to take notes. He's got to start a little note. He's got a phone. He's got to open his notes app and start keeping score of what it is that she likes so that he can pay attention next time.
Well, she would never.
That would make him a simp.
Wait,
she would never directly say it either, though.
Does how does a guy figure out the ring size without giving it away? Is he oh yeah, he's oh, that's a cute ring you're wearing. What size are you anyways? He has to find
most of them just get the ring and they resize it after.
Okay. You got to find a sneaky way of asking that question.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, oh that's cute. Oh, what size is your, as if anybody asks that question.
You have to get it bigger than her ring size so she feels skinny.
That is
because if you propose and the ring is too small, it's just gonna ruin the moment.
That is
Ooh, guess that doesn't fit on your sausage finger. Yikes.
To the gym with you. That's girl math.
Working out to fit my engagement ring. It's always the wedding dress, but what about the ring?
He's but just if it was covered in puke from your bulimia, then it would be so much better. Right?
Yikes.
That's girl math though, right there. What you just did there was textbook girl math, where it's you buy the ring bigger so that she feels smaller.
That's a great tip.
It is.
Actually.
It's really, really good.
All from up here.
It's kind of okay. So did you know that when they made the first Scream movie, or when they made the second one, when they made the first Scream movie, Wes Craven had such trouble with the MPAA, the people who rate the movies. They kept he'd give them the cuts of the movies and they'd be like, no, this is too graphic. You got to cut it down. You got to cut it down. And by the time it's done, he feels like the whole thing has been hacked up. So when he made the second one, what he did is he made it extra ultra ridiculously violent. So by the time they cut it down, it was right where he wanted it to be. So he overdid it. So that way it was he overdid it. Just you got to get him the ring too big. You got to make it too violent. So that way by the time you're done, it's right where you want it to be.
That only works with rings though. Do not buy your girlfriend clothing that is way too large for her.
Actually true. But most guys aren't buying their girlfriend's clothing, right?
Seems like a horrible idea.
Bold. Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a good idea. He's here's some athleisure, honey.
I also got you a wedding dress and it's just a shower curtain.
It's Halle Bailey.
Yeah. Well, she's not married yet.
She was here's your dress for our night out, and it's just a huge curtain from the bathroom. It's the hooks are still on it.
It's bed sheets.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody here has any such stories, but this is also the culture we live in now, where it's all about clout from your TikTok audience to have people look at your ring. Maybe it is just a humble brag. She's even when I don't get the ring I want, it's still better than the ring you're going to get.
For sure.
That's just sad.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any do you guys know anybody with particularly crazy stories about getting proposed to? I saw this one did you ever seen the one the other day where this dude, he's proposing on a dock and wind knocks the ring out of his hand and goes in the water and he reaches over to get it and he falls in.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't tell if it was real or not, but it was it looked real because it is realistic to be a video that you'd have somebody film for you. Because people film their engagements and the guy's this and he's and she's you can't tell if she's doing this because she's excited to be proposed to.
Oh, that is my most frivolous pet peeve is when girls are proposed to and they cover their mouth.
Wait.
I hate it for no reason. I hate it.
Wait, and then let me answer then the next part. Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Oh, I hate that. Yes. I hate that.
Yes, 1,000 times yes. That's always what.
But more so when they cover their mouth. I don't know why, but it just irks me so much. I don't know why.
Why? What are they supposed to do?
It's just a reflex.
Are they supposed to cover their eyes?
When I get surprised.
I get it, but I just hate that that's in every engagement photo.
Yeah.
Come up with something different.
I'm sorry, Jacob Edler, flag on the place, says Brett falls for all the staged videos. I bring up that this could be staged on literally every video we see that comes from social media because I don't trust anything to be real anymore. So no. But yeah, like those stories are awful. Or this other one where like they're like he's like proposing. I don't know why they're doing this by water constantly.
Yeah,
but this
it's not a good
dude's-
idea.
This dude's on like these like rocks out on like an island, and not only does he drop the ring, it like bounces from rock to rock into the water, and she's just-
slow-mo.
And the best part is she just looks really like. like likely she's been waiting for this forever, and she just had the worst this is the worst possible way that this could happen. So not good, man. And just imagine like how many times has Jennifer Lopez now been pretty like, does she do this every time?
She should keep all of her former wedding rings, engagement
On a
rings
necklace.
on a necklace. Yeah.
A lot of people, one guy made it's like she's got the Infinity Gauntlet, but it's all her wedding rings.
Well, they asked her, like, how do you know that this marriage is the last one, Jennifer? And she was like, when you know, and sometimes when you didn't know, you didn't know. So,
Deep.
That was
so true, Jennifer.
See, that could have been almost unintentionally deep. Yeah, there's something there, but she definitely didn't know it. Yeah, there you go. So
You
guys,
didn't know, you
if you're
didn't
gonna
know.
propose, I just implore you. First of all, avoid the water. Check the wind. Like literally, you got an app on your phone that
Don't
tells you the weather.
propose at the top of a volcano
No.
either.
Or on like a helicopter, and don't go bungee jumping for your wedding. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
Right.
All right, guys. So, deepfakes are becoming more of a concern as society moves more into the technological future. But a bunch of Taylor Swift fans got scammed by a deepfake endorsement. It says a number of her fans reportedly been duped out of hundreds of dollars after responding to a fake AI video of the pop star advertising, and I don't even know how to pronounce this. Do you know how to pronounce this
It's
here?
Le Creuset.
Creuset?
It's the cookware that every girly wants.
Okay, so I mentioned recently I was at the store, I was at the grocery store, and I saw the Taylor Swift baking cover, like magazine cover, and it looked even faker in person
Yep.
than it did on my computer screen.
oh,
She's like
wow.
holding it, she's
Gingerly
like, she doesn't
icing
know-
a cupcake.
She doesn't know how to hold the cutlery or any of the stuff. She's like, I see people do this for me all the time. This is weird. And it just looked really, really fake. So maybe that's the problem here. Maybe if she was more believable as an actual baker, they'd be able to scam even more people than just a couple hundred people. But now we're seeing a lot of these things where these AI these AI made videos are always like really bad, low resolution. And stuff. It's kind of like that Tucker Carlson video that I sent you that one time of Tucker Carlson diagnosing what's wrong with women today. And his mouth doesn't even move half the time, but it's perfect at the same time 'cause it sounds pretty much like him.
Deepfake scams are targeted toward the lowest common denominator, and I guess that's Swifties.
I guess.
But we also talked about how Gen Z are the most likely to fall for deepfake scams.
Maybe they're just, they're so used to looking at digital. You'd think that by looking at digital content all day, you'd be
Right?
more discerning about what you see. Like one of the things that I find really, really interesting is like when you edit video, you become acutely aware of like when timing for music and lip movement is like even the littlest bit off. So like the worst thing in the world is like what would happen is I'd be editing videos and the music would line up perfectly, but then depending on how many layered effects you have on top of it, it would throw it off with reverb by just the smallest amount. And that small amount makes a very, very big difference because how your brain perceives sound is very, very different. It's not just hearing it. It's like when your eyes are looking at someone and they're saying something, how it gets to you, there's actually a delay there, right? So it's one of those things you might not always be able to put your finger on it. It's like when people edit a music video for the first time, they realize that it's very hard to, like you notice badly done music videos right away when it doesn't look like they're actually saying the words right.
Right.
Yeah. Not good.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't tell what it is. You can just tell something is off.
Yeah. Yep. Well, these people need to be more discerning about what they spend their money on.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So don't scam people out of their money, guys. Also, if you have a dog and you lose your dog, for goodness sakes, don't clone it.
It's so creepy.
Don't clone it.
Paris Hilton lost her Chihuahua Diamond baby last year. I think we even talked about it when it happened. So Diamond baby is presumably dead somewhere or maybe rehomed. She never found Diamond baby, but she decided to clone it into 2, not 1, but 2 new Diamond babies. Or
Now
is
she's-
one named Diamond and one named Baby? I don't
Diamond
know.
Carrot Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, one's diamond, one's platinum.
Diamond Baby 1 and Diamond Baby 2.
Yes.
So not only does she create her baby in a lab, she also creates her dogs in a lab.
That's a pretty artificial existence. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty artificial existence.
Paris Hilton, artificial?
That's crazy.
Shocking.
That's
Is she
crazy.
happy?
Is she, wait, what?
Is she happy though? Like,
About her cloned dogs?
She artificially plays
Satisfied?
that. She artificially DJs like Summer Rae.
Yeah, she is also a quote unquote DJ. I don't know how true that is.
Anyways, they're saying that they took the stem cells from it. I don't want to play the clip because the last time we played like a video of a Taylor Swift or of a Paris Hilton reality show, and we got copyright claimed.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not doing that.
Do you think that Tim is going to clone Bucko?
That's such a good idea.
No, it's not.
Never mind.
It's weird.
Never
it's
mind.
weird.
so unsettling.
Never mind. I
Because it's
changed my
never
mind.
gonna be Bucko.
I don't want to. I don't want to
Yeah.
lose. I mean, yeah, but okay. We have $20 super chat here from Pat the plumber. Says Brett's barber made time for him. Let's go. Sadly, my friend, my barber is still giving me the cold shoulder. It was a different lady.
Yeah.
It's very sad. Made
You've
me
been
sad.
dumped by your barber.
I-
You know, maybe,
was.
like, I hope she's okay.
I mean, I'm still jilted, so no.
Yeah.
No. I hope she went to work with her car on empty and she had to stop and get gas before work, and it caused her great inconvenience. But yeah, just don't clone your pets. I look at Bucko and I don't want to see like what would happen. Here's the thing: Bucko is very much. I always describe him as a bit surly and a bit. Well, does surly work for you? Does
He's unimpressed.
he's very very
He
unimpressed. by-
pretends to be self-sufficient.
and that's the infuriating part, right? It's like, oh, because then what happens is I go into the kitchen, right? And I go to put food out and I'm like, oh, now you like me. I see how it is. But you're just good on your own, right? But we love him the way he is.
Yes.
I don't want him to change. I don't want cloned Bucko to come back and be all super affectionate. That's just weird.
Yeah.
Cloned Bucko would have a different personality.
Exactly. I don't want that. I want Bucko to be surly, unimpressed, a bit aloof, and disinterested in everything that's going on. Unless it's a box that he can try and pee in, which then you have to scram. Don't do that.
Paris Hilton's baby is really cute, though, I gotta say. He does have an abnormally large head, but it's endearing.
There you go. Mark in the chat says Tim cloned Ian. I wonder if that's true.
Wait, what? Where's
possible.
the old Ian?
If that was true, then Ian would because Ian's been out and about lately doing other shows
Yeah,
and
he
traveling.
has been.
If that was true, what he would have done, he would have cloned him so that he could be in 2 places at once.
Right.
Right? Because like last week, they're
Maybe
like,
the real Ian is living under the stairs.
it's very possible. Actually, no, because under the stairs here is a cutout of John McClane from Die Hard.
It's his only friend.
Yeah, Ian's just hanging out down there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, so just don't clone your pets, guys. It's just weird. It's not good. All right. What would you ladies like to see? Cute or cringe of the day?
Sarah. you decide.
Cute.
Cute first? All right, we'll do cute first then. Good, because I don't find the cringe to be overly cringe today. I find it more interesting than cringe. But here's some cute of the day for you guys. This is from the Ninja Bear. Says cute of the day. Here is my beautiful dog, my beautiful boy Don Vito, because of his ghost eye. Yes, I was a huge Viva La Bam fan.
Love Viva La Bam.
Nice.
Love the reference.
I believe that that people here are at like Bam's compound right now.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think they all just went over there to skate.
Yep,
That's
the
so
last couple
funny.
the other day. Yep. Oh,
Cute.
That is very cute.
An action shot.
I like the action shot. Let's do one more here. This one from Bucky Ducky says, 2 weeks ago, this guy injured himself and wouldn't walk on his left leg. He wouldn't or couldn't. Today, he is actually walking on it, and it looks like he's going to make a full recovery. That's good. Here we go.
Oh.
Aw.
I love ducks.
We're rooting for him.
So that's why his name is Bucky Ducky.
I hope he can swim just fine.
Seems all right. My favorite part of like skating would be coming back from like tour and stuff with injuries and having to go to work and explain what the hell happened and explaining literally anything but what happened. I'd be like, car accident, fell off a building,
Motorcycle
fought
accident.
with a bear, various things. Anything but the skating. $20 super chat here from Dat Pie over there. Tony Khan, the owner of number 2 AAW, Schizo posts again on X. Man will talk all day around his competition, but not talk about the violence, drama, and alleged abuse in his own company. Big sad. Laughed my ass off. Hashtag don't hinder Jinder. He's referring to Jinder Mahal. He's a pro wrestler.
What's the lore here?
So, yeah, Tony Khan is the owner of AEW. And he foolishly said recently at like one of their post-episode press conferences, like, this is the safest company to work for. There's the injuries.
We
and
have
stuff.
the safest company.
Is this a wrestling company?
Yeah, it's a wrestling
Okay.
company, right? And yeah, I don't know if I would go that far. And I don't watch AEW. I'll be completely honest with you. I always laugh because for as much of a competition as they've been able to make themselves, they still very much kind of like worship at the altar of like getting old WWE talent to be part of their roster, just like TNA used to do in these other companies. You know, it is what it is. Seeing that CM Punk left and went to WWE, seeing all the people who have kind of abandoned. I mean, like they said, they got Cody Rhodes back from AEW, who was one of the initiators of that whole movement, and they're not even treating Cody Rhodes all that well right now. So it just proves to you that no matter how much everyone in that industry can kind of I guess like bluster, they're always going to be number 2 to WWE because they like it has like one of the biggest YouTube channels in all of YouTube, and wrestling is very much a very mainstream thing now. It's not like it used to be. So say what you want about Vince, but he created something very, very impressive over there, though I'm not watching regularly these days. All right, let's go ahead and do some cringe of the day then. Mary found me this one. I don't know if it was the same one that I saw a while back, but it could have been. But I had seen this guy do this before. Do you want to explain to people what this is?
So this guy uses an app called Parallel Live that allows you to show a fake Instagram live stream on your phone that is AI generated. It has AI generated replies that relate to whatever is on screen, and it shows that you have a lot of viewers, which would imply you have a lot of Instagram followers. So he's showing his escapades going about the world with this fake live stream on his phone. People think he has clout, so they give him special treatment. It's really interesting,
Here we
and their behavior is cringe.
Are we on your TikTok right now? Oh my God!
That makes it look like you're live streaming with tens of thousands of people watching to see how people might treat you differently when they think you're famous.
So embarrassing.
The app uses artificial intelligence to generate comments based on whatever the camera sees and hears.
You guys, do you think she's cute, guys? Yes, they think you're cute, definitely.
Word got out that I was famous and people started filming me. This made the first girl mad and started grabbing on me. Even with a girl on me, people still kept coming up to me asking if they could be in my live stream. This was insane. I then went to a club where the manager saw how many viewers I had on a live stream and invited me to the VIP section. I set my live to 42,000 viewers, and like a wild Charizard, this rare beauty appeared. We then started turning up on the dance floor. I felt like I was in a movie. If you want to experience what it's like to be famous, where everyone wants to be around you, check out my app, Parallel Live.
It shows to you just how indiscriminate people are about what. For all they know, you're a famous like serial killer who got out of jail.
Yeah.
They don't give a crap what you're famous for. This could be Gypsy Rose, and this could be the guy version of Gypsy Rose, and they wouldn't care as long as a bunch of people are watching.
Yeah, it's very weird. So I guess this is his app, and he's going around lying to people with it about having a lot of followers to promote it.
Is this some type of like he's getting all this attention from the women? This is like the ultimate lead on
Well, yeah. See, the guys that are around him at whatever party, they don't care that he has Instagram followers.
Yeah.
But what kind of clout are they looking for?
I have no
They're
idea.
Doesn't like every other person on TikTok have like a clout and a huge following? Like, isn't it not very hard to be TikTok famous?
Well, I thought this was an Instagram live stream, but I guess it also would look like a TikTok live stream. Very
it looked like
weird.
Instagram to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it Instagram?
But yeah, it's just people don't care what you're famous for. They just
Yeah.
care that you're famous.
It's kind of sad.
It's
Yeah.
pathetic. You're
Yeah,
right.
it's pathetic.
Say it.
It's
Say
like
it with
when
your chest, you know?
people see like celebrities go into like famous restaurants and they're like, oh, there's a celebrity, and people just turn and start looking and taking pictures. They don't even know what they're taking pictures of. They just hear that somebody famous is there, so it must matter.
Yes, it's a social experiment of sorts.
Yep. So yeah, guys, go ahead and do that if you wanna know what it for the low price of whatever this app costs. You too can know what it's like to be TikTok famous. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? We're only 45 minutes into the show.
Only.
We're being quite concise today, are we not? Let's go ahead and get
Time
going.
management.
So, as you know, The Last of Us Season 2 production is in the works right now. Season 1 ended a while back. We did review it on this channel, but it looks like they have cast their Abby. It is going to be...
Thank you,
Let's take that one from the top.
Always at the most inopportune times.
Yeah. Just take it
So
from the
anyway,
top.
guys, as you know, The Last of Us Season 2 is underway. The production has begun, and the controversial character of Abby has been cast in the show. It's an actress named Caitlin Dever. And so far, the internet seems to be hell-bent on making sure that she knows that she is going to be abused. On the internet.
Yeah. The first article I saw about this is titled, Caitlin Dever will play The Last of Us Abby. She needs to get off the internet immediately.
This is overdone.
Yes, and the reason for that is the new Abby might consider scaling back her internet presence because in the past, the character has been a target of repeated hate campaigns by gamers for her appearance and role in the game story.
Spoiler alert, Mary's gonna spoil it for you.
It's been, at least 4 years since The Last of Us 2 came out, so I'm assuming that you guys know this already, but the character of Abby kills Joel toward the very beginning of that game.
Yep.
What?
Yes, with a golf club.
No!
She beats in his head with a golf club.
I'll never forget-
Very gruesome.
I never forget this episode of Burn Notice where this character says, I chased after him with a baseball bat, and Fiona goes, use a golf club next time, and explains why a golf club is a better instrument
incredibly
to hurt somebody
effective.
with.
Can I ask why, or is that too much spoiler? Too much of a spoiler.
It's because Abby's character is motivated by revenge. I'm not going to get into the whole lore of it, but she wants to get revenge against Joel, and she does.
You understand why at the end of season 1.
Yes.
But you'll get into it in season 2. I personally think that maybe they just can't afford Pedro Pascal anymore. Because
for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
if they were smart and they could afford him, they'd have dragged out that whole story through
Right.
season 2. They wouldn't even have gotten to the end until the end of season 2.
Yeah.
Right
So we've
there.
got a time jump.
Yep.
In the second season of The Last of Us, Ellie is going to be an adult now. It's been years, and Abby is a necessary character for this next season.
I'm going to put her on screen. I do want to point out that I do believe the comments are accurate, that she could have played Abby. Or she could have played Ellie.
A lot of people are
She could
saying
have
this.
absolutely played Ellie.
A lot of people are saying that Caitlin Dever should have been Ellie. I saw one tweet that said, the girl who looks like Ellie is playing Abby, and the girl who looks like a clicker is playing Ellie.
Yeah.
Yikes, man. But it's kind of true. Caitlin Dever looks young enough that she could play Ellie. She looks very demure. She's only 5'3", which is confusing because Abby is supposed to be this very physically intimidating character.
Yeah,
she's buff. She's jacked for a woman at least.
I showed Mary
very
this
masculine.
Picture. I showed Mary this picture of, because Caitlin Dever doesn't use, at least she doesn't use Twitter that much, but I checked her Instagram, and she's at like this some women's summit somewhere. Of course, women are always having summits someplace, somewhere in the world right now. There is a women's summit going on. I bet you if you Google women's summit in today's date, there's something happening. But the point is, she's the shortest person there of all the people. Right, which runs contrary to the character.
And
Maybe
a lot
they will
of
give her
people are immediately saying that, yeah, she doesn't have the stature to play Abby.
Maybe they will give her the fake Natalie Portman arms.
Yeah, someone tweeted, I'm guessing she's not going to get ripped, and she's going to have Thor Natalie Portman arms, and we're supposed to applaud it like it's progressive. So they use CGI to buff up Natalie Portman.
They should have just done Gina Carano as Abby.
Yeah.
And just
that would have been
great.
cool. Yeah.
great, right? And look, she's not going to get the hate that they think she's going to get. I don't think people care.
Well, what they're doing is they're hoping that Caitlin Dever will receive hate, that she'll get harassed on the internet, because it will confirm all of their delusions that all gamers are misogynist pigs.
Yeah.
And Abby is understandably a not well-liked character. So here are some of the tweets already preempting this hate campaign. One said, "I'm sorry for what they're about to do to you, Caitlyn. I'll never forget you."
They want this to
Ridiculous.
happen.
Yes.
They want it to happen.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. And here's the thing. She doesn't use Twitter that much, which is where the majority of that type of mental
smart
illness comes
decision.
from. So I don't think it's going to bother.
Another said, "I hope they warned her about the endless barrage of harassment she's about to receive. The actor who played Abby in the game still gets death threats all these years later."
Laura Bailey played her in the game, and Laura Bailey is a very prolific voice actress who's voiced tons of characters over tons of series and stuff like that. She's in The Legend of Vox Machina, which is based on the Critical Role YouTube series and stuff like that. But she played, was it Wonder Woman or Supergirl, one of them, right? But the point is, she's a very, very prolific actress. It's part of your job to put up with stuff like this. Also, you pointed something out very interesting before, where it's like, they're like, Warner Brothers isn't going to shield her from this. What the hell is
No, this is going to be on HBO. So I saw a tweet that said, "I can't wait for HBO to completely leave her out to dry when the harassment starts." My question is, what do you expect HBO to do?
Yeah.
What they're expecting, though, is for HBO and all of her castmates on The Last of Us, I'm sure Pedro Pascal included, Bella Ramsey, to issue public statements condemning the hate and misogyny and throwing their support behind Caitlyn Dever against misogynist trolls.
Which does what to help you? Does that keep you warm at night? Does
it doesn't stop people from hating you.
Yeah.
In fact, it only inflames it because you're paying attention to it, and that's what trolls want, right? They want you to pay attention to it. They want you to get upset.
Everybody forgets. Even the most internet literate people forget that what they want more than anything. And this goes for anybody here who just gets into arguments on Twitter.
This is ridiculous.
They want a response from you.
Someone said, "Yep, Naughty Dog left Laura Bailey and the motion caption actress out to dry so badly. They didn't deserve that."
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Am I supposed to imagine like an avatar standing in front of her digitally? Like what the hell? I'm so sick of hearing stuff that has. We were talking about this earlier.
Yes.
With like, it's a whole bunch. We'll talk about it later in the Taylor Swift stuff. But it's like you're literally saying a bunch of stuff that means literally nothing.
Yeah.
Like, all you have to ask is a question. What do you mean by that? What does issuing a statement do?
Well, the ironic thing is that other studios have been pressured to do the same thing in the past, and we've covered this. So Disney and all of the castmates of Moses Ingram had to throw their support behind her when she was getting racist hate messages and death threats as she played the hated character Reva. And then when Rings of Power came out, Amazon had to issue an official statement condemning all of these fantasy genre fans who are racist, bigot, homophobes.
There's a $20 one here from The Ninja Bear. It says, "Look at my pupper on PCC. One step closer to being famous. No app needed. Let's go." Fun fact, before crowbars were invented, crows just stayed in and drank. I'll see myself out. Wish I was going to Pam's compound. Yeah.
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 What is that? Sad
bear?
I don't know.
Yeah, like, but yeah. I don't know what they expect. Like, for these actors, I would consider it more of like a badge of honor to be able to take what's going to. They did the same thing. So what they did when Ben Affleck got cast as Batman, Warner Brothers goes, "We would advise you to stay off the internet for a while."
Right, that's all you got to do.
Yeah. Like that's what they said.
Don't go online.
And as a guy, as a straight dude, you're just expected to deal with it because that's what all people should be expected to do. No matter your race, gender, sexuality, whatever it is, you should just be expected that I'm going to be paid this much amount of money. This is my job. This is one of the unique requirements of my job. Right? And the people that learn to accept it gracefully, think about, like, for all the crap we gave the Marvels, and I don't think we gave the Marvels as much crap as everyone else, but given the way that Iman Vellani handled the movie, the backlash to the movie, people came out of that looking at her with a much higher point of view because she was as magnanimous as you can be in a situation like that without allowing yourself to just completely throw your back out with giving in. She said, look, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, that's all you have to do. It's not that difficult. Mm-hmm. And for people like this, the problem is, though, is she might not suffer this problem, but for a lot of them, they're very, very internet addicted and they need to be reading what people say about them online. And I cannot be more insistent that you just don't do that if you're of that level of fame. It's not going to do anything good for you.
Yeah, it doesn't accomplish anything. And these people are very narcissistic because they think that receiving hate on the internet makes them more important.
Yep.
So really they feel euphoric about being a victim.
I'll never get that.
Yeah. And really, Naughty Dog is to blame for the fact that this Abby character is so hated in the first place, right?
Yep.
Because they decided to kill off Joel, who was the most beloved protagonist of the franchise. They made Abby the girl boss that ruined the Last of Us franchise, and then leaned really hard into Ellie's LGBTQ identity in the second game. The whole thing was just a PR blunder, really.
I do hope that we get some great, like, Caitlin Dever workout montages to Eye of the Tiger, where she's just taking a bunch of like steroids and like shadow boxing with people. Maybe she'll get Grace Jabari as a movement coach. Maybe she'll get Jonathan Majors ex
movement coach.
Yes,
totally
movement,
real job.
Whatever the hell that means. It's a movement coach, and I just I'm hoping that she can embrace it. But look, when Gal Gadot played Wonder Woman, you know, she had all of the people that acted in those movies would have these montages of them working out and getting ready for the role. So she's just lifting a bunch of weights and eating a bunch of chicken and rice. It'll be great.
It's just a stupid idea that they would double down on this horrible storyline that all of the fans hated to the point of adapting it into a high budget TV show.
Yeah.
If the fan base told you that they hated what you did with the franchise, why would you double down and show it to even more people?
It's also funny too because these shows tend to love making changes. Here's a perfect example where you could make a change and nobody would be upset about it. Like you could absolutely change this. Keep Joel alive. Just go off the script right now.
Yeah.
Just do that. Right?
Yeah, and it's true that Pedro Pascal is like too big of a paycheck for them to keep him. They could have stretched out the first game storyline into 2 seasons, but it's just not feasible.
How did you feel about
Recast
you watched the show? You watched the first season. How'd you feel about it?
I liked the first season a lot. The only part I didn't like about it was the one episode where it was like the gay couple, and not because they were a gay couple. I didn't care about that part, but because it wasn't what actually happened in the storyline, and it didn't apply to the story at all whatsoever.
Right, changing the story of the original game is totally on the table, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
they changed that, and it was only to pander to the queer audience, which is like a small sliver of the mass appeal you're trying to get.
Yeah.
Supposedly. That episode was awful. And honestly, I think the whole first season was weak. I didn't like any of it.
I liked it because I didn't know the story at all.
Yeah.
So other than that, I actually recently rewatched it, which I normally never do with shows. So I thought it was great. Now that I hear about him getting killed off in the second season, I have no desire to watch
I guess
it.
I spoiled that for you.
Whoops.
That was shocking. I don't know why they would do that.
And Bella Ramsey is annoying. She talked about how validated she felt because she got to wear a chest binder in The Last of Us. I mean, I guess that would make sense if you're 20 and you're playing a 12-year-old, but now that she's doing this time jump and she's older in the second season, is that not going to be an option anymore?
Yeah.
She's playing a lesbian, but she doesn't even identify as a woman. Representation matters, y'all.
It does.
It's going off the rails.
It seems like a lot of these fans of the show weren't fans of the game because they absolutely relish getting a dig at the original game's fan base. One tweeted, "I want her to look at the camera and wink at the audience before grabbing that golf club, LOL." Like, you hate the character Joel, but claim to love
No, they don't
the
hate the
game.
character Joel. They hate the fans that like the character Joel and wish that he was still alive. So it's more about hating the people that don't like the way the story went because they hate them on ideological grounds.
There was just so much unnecessary pandering. I think even them race swapping Joel's daughter was so unnecessary. Like, why?
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah, that was kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, so is he supposed to be white in the show, or is he like?
Yeah.
But
Latin,
Pedro
but his
is
daughter's black.
at least claims not to be white in real life.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
They
is-
love
I was
to do
like, is that
that
his
to-
real daughter? That's his real daughter, right? That's not supposed to be like
Yes,
his adopted daughter.
in the game, it's his real daughter, but his real daughter in the game is white. So why was there any necessary race swap there? I mean, like most race swaps, it was just thrown in there to get brownie points.
Right.
I love, and the sad thing is that was part of that first episode was the best to me of the show, was that whole first opening sequence as everything's falling apart and you see them in the car and the point of view shooting through the car window. I love that whole scene down there.
It was great. Yeah.
The show as a whole, I just don't think enough happened for it to justify it just felt like such a slog to get through to me every few episodes.
Which is weird because didn't you say they packed everything into that first season?
Yeah.
Like it could have been broken up.
It was very slow. There wasn't enough action. Like the whole game, it's an action game because you're participating in it. And they took all of that away. I guess putting clickers on the screen was too expensive. The CGI was too expensive. I don't know.
Yep. All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Wednesday, Brett, Mary, and Crisis Actors." Then he added, "Apologies. Last Super Chat was before I knew Sarah was here. Happy Wednesday to you as well. Also, thanks for the Twix follow."
Hey.
And I added, I literally went back and like, when he put in Crisis Actors, I was like, I don't think I put Sarah in the description box. So I went back and re-edited it.
I thought he was saying I was a crisis actor.
You too.
Which I might be.
You too.
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, "Do not play that damn video today."
What video would that be?
Are you referring to the Madonna video or the People's Joker?
Because we can do that. We're going to do that on Friday.
Maybe we should.
We will. Let's do one more.
Shane H. Wilder said, "I'm eco-sexual phobic. Say it back."
It's true. It's very bigoted of you, my friend. All right, Mary, tell us what the hell's going on with Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X is preparing to release a new single, and the title of it is J Christ. And he has decided that the cover art for this single would be him on a cross portraying himself as Jesus Christ. He titled this tweet, "My new single is dedicated to the man who had the greatest comeback of all time. J Christ, January 12th. So this is about to come out. And his promotional tool, as always, is outrage marketing. It's very cheap. And yeah, I'm a Christian and I do find this offensive and blasphemous, but his own fans are fed up with his outrage marketing as well. Like, rage baiting is a cheap way to get people to pay attention to your art. It should stand on its own merits. And I'm not alone in thinking that. But since December, he has been running with this troll that he's converting to Christianity and trying to play it off like it's authentic, even to the point of fake enrolling in Liberty University to study biblical studies. He posted a fake letter of acceptance from Liberty University signed by their former president, who has been dead since 2007.
I was more impressed
I'm
that
highly
Liberty
doubting
University
it.
was a real thing. Mary had to tell me what the hell Liberty University was. I was like, based.
You'd heard of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it plenty of times. And he insists that he is being earnest. He said, "Not everything is a troll. I'm a student again. Let's go." He's also posted a video of himself in what appears to be a church, where he is eating a bunch of communion wafers and drinking wine like it's a mukbang.
Here we go. Keep it muted, please. Please don't play music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he posted this video to his Instagram stories of him.
I guess it wouldn't really be as offensive if it wasn't for the church setting. Like we were talking about earlier, you can buy communion wafers online. You can literally buy them on the internet. So I guess it's not until they've been blessed, Mary?
Yeah, the communion wafers need to be consecrated to be actually considered the Eucharist. Obviously, that's not what is in the video, but he is still attempting to provoke Christians and mock them with his public presence and his art. And people have been doing this for decades already. Every time that a celebrity does this, I say, like, you know, it wasn't even that interesting when Madonna did it, and now you're doing it decades later. It's not original. It's not provocative. It's not subversive. We don't live in a Christian culture anymore. So what authority are you even rebelling against? This is the popular culture. It's synonymous with disrespecting Christianity and traditional values and all of that stuff. So what is the point, really? And his own fans are echoing what I'm saying. One said, I love him, but I wish he'd aim higher than making noise by trolling judgmental Christians, because the artistry is actually there. And I don't know, he did this the last promo round, and they're referring to his music video for the song Montero. That is actually his name. He basically in that music video descended into hell and gave Satan a lap dance. Ooh, so edgy. He responded to that fan. He said, the problem is y'all judge everything at face value. I've never released a visual without an underlying meaning, and y'all know that. But since I'm a troll, you discount my art as just pissing people off. Another one said, good morning, I don't care about you. Disrespecting religion, but I feel like you're just extra to be extra. And yes, trolling. What Lady Gaga did with Judas, Madonna with Like a Prayer, Nicki with Roman Holiday, there's a sense of class to it. And he responded, the problem with a lot of y'all gays is y'all think I'm trying to be like Gaga or Madonna, when in reality, with all due respect, IDGAF what they did, and I'm doing what I want with my career. So he doesn't really respond to the idea that this is all unoriginal and feels manufactured and doesn't really hit like it used to in the 20th century.
Somebody really wants to troll. I want to see somebody like start making troll videos about Buddhism.
Right, like you would never dare disrespect Islam in your music.
I understand
you know?
that one because there's actual consequences, but I would find something funny about like making fun of Buddhism somehow.
But it's like all of these artists pride themselves on being so open-minded, and they're willing to cross any line, any boundary. They're willing to offend anyone, except for the people who will actually push back on it, you know? And they're obsessed with getting acceptance from the so-called closed-minded people. When you and your open-minded ilk could just enjoy yourselves and celebrate each other however you want and be fine, but they're obsessed with provoking and poking the bear. It's honestly really pathetic, and it's what a lot of people say, it's punching down. It is. And I was curious, why does Lil Nas X feel so strongly about disrespecting Catholicism in particular? I wondered, did he grow up Catholic?
Was he raised Catholic?
Was he raised in some kind of horrible, repressive Catholic church that, you know, he was bullied by Catholic peers or something? Did he go to Catholic school? And as far as I can tell, that isn't true. I went to his Wikipedia and I looked at his early life section. It says he was born in Georgia, 1999. He was named after the Mitsubishi Montero. Yeah, his real name is Montero Lamar Hill. His parents divorced when he was 6, and he settled in the Bankhead neighborhood of Atlanta with his mother and grandmother. 3 years later, he moved in with his father, a gospel singer. So, gospel singer in Atlanta doesn't exactly scream Catholic. Yes, it's a Christian environment, it's a Christian household, but why Catholicism in particular, especially also from an American perspective? Catholicism has never been the establishment religion in America. So why are you rebelling against something that was never even an authority over you?
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Just needs a gimmick.
Yeah.
Pick a different one,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I don't know. I just, yes, as a Catholic and as a Christian, I do find it offensive. I do find it blasphemous. It's distasteful. But I'm not the only one who thinks it's distasteful. There are non-religious fans of his and even atheist fans of his who are echoing the same sentiment that this is tired, it's boring, try something new for once.
Right.
Like, you're not only repeating what other artists did, you're repeating the same gimmick that you were using several years ago.
Does the Mitsubishi Montero still exist? If it does, there's a marketing opportunity there that's just way too good to miss. Does anybody know, has he done any marketing for Mitsubishi? Because that would be fantastic. That's what he should be doing.
He's probably too offensive for their brand image.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, like you need a gimmick, you need your branding, and it's just such an easy one to do these days. You're not going to get any of the pushback from the people you supposedly think are oppressing you. You know, like there was one of these comments from someone under this post. It says, I think it's hilarious. We must mock these people. Christian nationalism is the biggest threat to America right now. Many people running want a Christian theocracy. Educated Americans fight for your right to believe in a sky daddy. Doesn't mean we can't mock it. Well, yes, it's true. I'm saying it's kind of boring to me. I find it very, very LARPy.
Yeah, and there's no purpose. Usually art should have some type of purpose behind it. But if your purpose is solely to piss people off, it kind of doesn't hit.
Right.
Maybe in the early 2000s, you know, like if we were in the Marilyn Manson era, different Manson, you know, when that was a more common thing and they were pushing back against what they felt was a neoconservative, more religious environment here in the West, sure. But these days, especially in their industry with the bubble that they're in, it's not like he's got to worry about Justin Bieber coming up to him and being like, hey, I was at Hillsong the other day and I heard that you were disrespecting my religion. I don't think that that's going to happen.
No.
I don't. I find all of it incredibly contrived. Most likely, the worst, honestly, the worst outcome here is like, okay, so there's two that I see here. One is that it's his own idea. Fine. That's actually at least kind of interesting because maybe it informs some aspect of his childhood that we don't see in his early life section from Wikipedia. The worst option is that his manager and his agent are like, you got to have a gimmick, man. You're going to have to hate on the Christians and the Catholics if you want to get ahead. Because, you know,
it's bizarre.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, because a lot of it is like people who have marketed themselves, you know, his sexuality has become such a big part of who he is as a character, because he's essentially, you kind of play a character in that role. Like it plays such a big role in that it's just not super interesting without somebody to be against, without an oppressor. So in this case, you have to have the most stereotypical and easy to spot one they can find. And it doesn't really, at least to me, ring true with what I believe to be the majority of the country these days, because, you know, it feels like we become more secular by the day. And that's just, as somebody who's not religious, I just look at it as boring and
Right.
not
It's like
offensive.
cringy. It's so unoriginal and boring.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to create controversy, there's so many just other religions, not just other things that you could mock or push back against that you think are so oppressive.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. It's weird. I find the pushback against religion here in the West, where religion is this thing that you're free to, like, this isn't he's not pushing back against Islam in an Islamic country, right? He's doing it against a country here where, for the most part, a religion known for being quite tolerant, despite the fact of whatever they might say might happen to you when you pass away, whatever you were told when you were younger. The belief on the whole is that they're quite respectful and tolerant of people who see the world differently than them, far more than other religions.
I recently saved this thread that I found that chronicles all of Lil Nas X's problematic tweets from back when he was a Stan account on Twitter in the 2010s. It's called Exposing Lil Nas X for Being Homophobic, even though he's gay, fatphobic, racist, slut-shaming, and more. He talks badly about Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Rihanna, Lady Gaga, Adele, Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, Azalea Banks, Cardi B, Blue Ivy, and more. And it's ironic that when he first popped up onto the scene with Old Town Road going viral, he wasn't out yet. But this was already in 2018 or 2019. This is well past the point where it's stigmatized to be gay, especially in the entertainment industry. I mean, maybe you could argue that as a rap artist, it was a little bit more of a new territory.
Oh
but
yeah, no, it's still new territory for rap
still,
artists.
like, regardless.
Really? But like, weren't they saying A$AP Rocky was gay, or like, I know he
not,
was wearing
though.
skirts like not too long ago. So there was already the feminization.
There's
of
Lil
men,
Uzi
even
Vert.
in like
Yes.
rap
He
and
came out as
R&B.
non-binary. But Lil Nas X back in 2020 claimed that he didn't want people to know he was gay and didn't want people finding out and losing everything. it's very weird because clearly what he didn't want people to find out is that he was a stan account talking shit about all of these celebrities who are now his colleagues kind of in the industry. I won't go into detail because everything he said is incredibly vulgar, but you can find it if you would like to. I just think his entire career is very embarrassing, and he's talented enough where he never needed to rely on outrage and rage baiting people to get success. Maybe his marketing team is behind this and encouraging this, but it just shows how fast the culture has changed. And we're going to get into this in the next topic, but previously artists were discouraged from coming out as gay or queer or whatever because it makes them less of a mass appeal product. You want to appeal to as many people as possible, make as much money as possible. So homophobia wasn't really the reasoning behind that, but now we've flipped entirely, and he was probably encouraged to capitalize on being a gay celebrity, and I'm sure that that's actually helped him get success in the industry rather than hurt.
Yep. They should just start rage baiting and pretending to be conservative. That would be actual rage baiting. Yeah.
But no one would buy it.
Yeah.
From him, at least.
I mean, I don't know. I think actually people would buy it because I think they're like, why would you? Because that actually is a risk, right? Just like we're saying, when you're pretending to be putting yourself at risk because you're pushing back on a religion that's not going to do anything to you, that's not an actual risk. But pretending to be a conservative would actually be a risk to your job.
He kind of reminds me of a male version of Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, that's a
They
good
both
one.
have like pasts of being problematic on the internet, being memes that went mainstream.
Yeah.
They're both like desperate to offend. Doja Cat was just wearing this shirt with Sam Hyde on it on her Instagram. People didn't know how to react. But they're both talented people who really don't need to rely on that.
All right. Let's go to Super Chats.
Not that Jon Stewart said 40 crisis parties for Blue Brett.
No.
Why
I'm
not?
not doing blue hair.
If you dyed your hair blue every day, I'd play that I'm Blue song.
No. I hate that
Just
song.
a reminder, Brett did commit
No!
to
No, I
bleaching his hair again if we get to 40 crisis parties.
No, I said I reserve the right to make that only a one episode at a time thing. You don't just get to randomly do that. Maybe in the future we'll do that, but definitely not for 30 again. I'm just glad to have my normal hair color back now.
You have to savor it while it lasts.
I do.
Won't be long.
What about blue highlights?
No.
No?
Just
Okay.
no.
It was
Plus, it's
No?
going to
Worth
damage
a
my
try.
hair if I keep dyeing.
Blue eyebrows?
Think about it.
No.
Would you bleach your eyebrows?
I would not.
Yeah.
I would not.
Fair. Sorenko Productions said not them lightening the black girl's skin for China. Did they do that in the Madam Web poster?
I couldn't tell.
didn't
Also,
notice
in the
that.
chat here, Miss Hayes says start rocking a MAGA hat for Lil Nas X. Yes. See, I am of the opinion, I'm steadfast in this belief that for the most part, hipsterism died when no hipster was willing to wear a MAGA hat, ironically.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
You guys...
But they would probably think, look how that turned out for Kanye, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he got into details. Like, I'm just saying, just wear it and then don't answer questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be no different. Just don't say anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't willing to do it.
Shane H. Wilder said, don't sleep on the chalky milk, Brett. Make sure to combine it with some dino nuggies.
I'm not a chicken.
Name a more iconic duo.
I am
I'll wait.
a chicken strip fan, not a chicken tendy fan. They are different.
What's the difference?
Texture's way different in chicken strips. You ever go to Sheetz? Do you ever get chicken strips at Sheetz?
No.
They're good.
I do go to Sheets, though.
Yes.
That Stanzatastic said, speaking of Tom Cruise, Tropic Thunder is so good and I'm happy it was made because it sure as hell wouldn't be allowed to be made today.
Oh, Ben Stiller said he'd be happy to make a sequel. Like he would totally do it if they'd let him. Like I'm always glad that they stand by that movie, that they're not.
It would be worth it just for the outrage.
Let's hold off on the rest and we'll come back after the fact. Mary, you're gonna have to unpack this one for everyone because this article was a bit schizophrenic and insane.
Well, we already know that Swifties are rivaling QAnon conspiracy theorists with how much they investigate Easter eggs that Taylor Swift supposedly gives them. And this one is a New York Times opinion writer. Her name is Anna Marks, and she wrote an article titled, "Look What We Made Taylor Swift Do." It's 5,000 words long. It's actually insane that I read the whole thing and I was wondering the whole time, like, someone actually got paid to write this? So her entire point is that Taylor Swift is actually a closeted lesbian or bisexual, and she's been dropping Easter eggs or hairpins here and there in her art and in her public presence.
Wait, what the hell is it? Is a hairpin just like
to
an Easter
hint-
egg?
I've never heard of that. I guess so.
Dropping hairpins? Yeah.
Ugh.
To
too
hint
old.
to all of the queer fans of hers that she's one of them. And it's so obvious. It's right under our noses. Here's a
How
quote.
is this not how is this not like QAnon level conspiracy theories?
It is. They're queer and on.
How is this not the
They
same
want her
level
to be a
of-
lesbian so bad.
This is a queer and on
This
conspiracy
is as weird
theory.
as the people who constantly tell me every single day that Donald Trump has this insane 9,000 piece chessboard, where he's saying eighth dimensional chests. Like, just no, right? Like, you're seeing things that aren't there.
Yeah, they're literally schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Here's a quote. Whether she is conscious of it or not, Taylor Swift signals to queer people in the language we use to communicate with one another, what, they're aliens or something, that she has an affinity for queer identity. And her whole premise is that Taylor Swift is not free to come out as gay because we still live in a patriarchy, and the whole way that she markets herself is appealing to male power because all of her songs are supposedly written about falling in love with men or getting revenge on men. But she's analyzing all of these lyrics and all of her album art, trying to see the hidden meaning.
One of the
that
problems
she's
with
trying
this-
to tell the public that she's gay, but she just can't say it out loud.
One of the problems
Her
with
career
this
would end.
is people write what they know. So we did this story yesterday about this movie called Fitting In, about this story about this woman who has a narrow...
She has a genetic disorder.
Mm-hmm.
She's intersex, so that means she was born without a uterus, a cervix, or a vaginal canal.
So the
And
point,
she wrote a movie about it.
the point
This is
being...
a real person?
Yes.
Yeah.
The point being is that people write what they know. They write what they've experienced. The problem here is that they believe that Taylor Swift is only writing about her worldview because her worldview is not actually what it is. It's supposedly conveniently, just like this lady's worldview, which is just the height of narcissism. All Taylor Swift is doing is what all of these other people do, which is write about what they know. The difference is what she knows and what she writes about is mass producible and interesting to more than just those inside her demographic.
Right, yeah. I mean, I guess that this writer, the opinion writer, is writing what she knows, and all she knows is identity politics.
Which is why it's interesting that they don't see the disconnect there. That all she's doing is exactly what you do, but you're just mad that you like her and her worldview isn't exactly your worldview.
Well, what Taylor Swift does is kind of messed up, though, because she's pandering to these people, right?
To queer people?
Yeah.
I mean...
Or like queer. I don't know if you call
she
it
bills
pandering,
herself as an ally
Right.
to queer people while being straight and cisgendered. So that's why she released that song, You Need to Calm Down. And then she supported this Equality Act. Well, if it says equality in it, it must be good. But never has she just come out and say that she ever identifies with that community, and she's explicitly said that she doesn't. But here's another quote. The writer mentions this country singer named Sheely Wright, who came out as gay, and I guess in the late 2000s in the country music realm, that was very stigmatized. You probably wouldn't have a lot of fans in the country music fan base for doing so because they lean conservative and religious. But she was quoted saying, "It's going to keep going," the hate she means, "until someone who has something to lose stands up and just says, I'm gay. Somebody big. We need our heroes."
They
And
act
then
like
this
somebody
writer
big
says, what if somebody had already tried at least once to change the culture by becoming such a hero? What if because our culture had yet to come to terms with homophobia, it wasn't ready for her? And what if that hero's name was Taylor Allison Swift?
The inherent narcissism to imagine that all of this is just miraculously happens to revolve around your internalized struggle is insane.
Well, she needs Taylor Swift to be the avatar for her internal struggle and her civil rights struggle as a queer person.
I wonder if I could write my own version of this article that's like, what if the story of Taylor Swift is actually the story of a average-looking short man from Minnesota, and that's what the story actually is. What she's actually speaking to.
Whoever could that be?
If she's actually speaking about, like, what she's actually talking about in her songs is about me, is about my worldview, because it's all about me. I'm the most important thing. Therefore, this extremely important artist has to take up my cause. I think we could write that article, right? She's speaking on behalf of average-looking short people everywhere. Maybe not just in Minnesota, but average-looking short guys all over the planet. Do you see how ridiculous and stupid that sounds? Yes. It sounds just as stupid when you say it.
Yeah, I mean, this literally sounds like somebody who is in a psychotic episode who thinks that they have a relationship with a celebrity and they're dropping secret hints at them, like they actually know each other. And everything that Taylor Swift says is a secret message specifically targeted at her in her own secret language.
How is this not... Wait, does this make this far left conspiracy theories, I guess?
It is. Yeah. So after this article came out, it was met with a lot of pushback. And I just want to mention, Taylor Swift's fan base, the Swifties have a faction in it called the Gaylers, who actually do believe this. They believe that Taylor Swift is a closeted lesbian, and they will come up with any amount of evidence to prove that fact. But
Even
the
if
Gaylers,
it's not actual evidence.
Yeah. But the Gaylers are actually hated by the rest of the fan base for being delusional. And also they're doing exactly what Taylor Swift complains about, which is paying too much attention to her personal life and not enough attention to her artistry. But after this New York Times article came out, it was reported that Taylor Swift's associates are dismayed about a controversial NYT opinion piece that speculates the singer's sexuality. Here's the quote from the anonymous source. Because of her massive success, in this moment, there is a Taylor-shaped hole in people's ethics. This article wouldn't have been allowed to be written about Shawn Mendes or any male artist whose sexuality has been questioned by fans. I'm going to stop in the middle there. It actually has happened to male artists having their sexuality speculated on.
Happens to Harry Styles all the time.
In fact, Anna Marks, the same author, also wrote an article about Harry Styles in a similar way.
Yeah.
She titled it, "Harry Styles Walks a Fine Line. Is it really so inconceivable that one of the most famous people in the world could be trapped in the same closet as you or me?" This is something she does. This is her beat, is gay allegations. She's a journalist who cobbles together conspiracy theories about mainstream artists being closeted gay. So yeah, it's not about misogyny. It's just about her being a crazy person. This would happen and did happen to male artists plenty of times. And they continued, there seems to be no boundary some journalists won't cross when writing about Taylor Swift, regardless of how invasive, untrue, and inappropriate it is, all under the protective veil of an opinion piece.
Well, it literally is an opinion piece. That's what it is.
It's her opinion. It's her hopes and dreams,
Yes.
really.
It's her dream piece.
Yeah.
I think she just has the hots for Taylor Swift and can't
Totally.
handle the fact that Taylor Swift is straight.
Yeah, it's a total fantasy. Like, she's like, oh, Taylor doesn't even know that she's a lesbian. She just has to meet me and she will realize that
I'm
she
Taylor
was a
Swift's
closeted
dream girl.
lesbian.
It is
Yeah.
weird to watch them kind of run headlong to this idea that for a lot of these artists, it seems especially prevalent in women in entertainment these days, that the majority of the things that they find interesting to talk about for their own art is their sexuality or gender, right? Which I think Tim brought this up the other day. It's like, why is it that like women, it's that old meme, it says like men only want one thing and it's disgusting. And then why are all the women comics talking about their vagina and their boyfriends and sex, and male comics don't seem to, on the whole, do that as much as women do. But like when they were talking about their like Taylor Swift's music and her sexuality, why does it have to, it's almost like people have fallen headlong into that trap about representation matters. Like it used to be that you could appreciate art for what it was, even if it didn't speak to your own personal experience. Now people don't know how to do that anymore. Like you should be able to, as a queer artist or as a gay artist or whatever, or a gay listener of her music, be able to take the greater idea of each of these songs about loss or relationship failure and still apply it to your own relationships, if that's what you want to do. If you want to use it as some type of guide to how you can identify with this person's art, the sexuality of the person shouldn't actually matter. It should be more about the overarching theme of the relationship. But it's like they have to have it dumbed down to the point where it has to be exactly like what they went through. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Like, think about all of the straight people that love at least Sam Smith's old music, his old love songs, which from the perspective of a gay man are about gay relationships. They would be none the wiser and they don't care.
Yep. There's a $20 super chat here from Dreamcast Knight said, LOL, Taylor Swift is Taylor Hanson. That's a meme from the old times.
Taylor Hanson?
I
thought Taylor Hanson has been here at Timcast before.
Is that true?
Yeah. I was on Alex Stein with him.
Yeah.
Is that the Taylor Hanson you're talking about? I don't know. You misspelled his name,
Are they
though.
talking about like from the band Hanson? Or is one of the brothers named Taylor?
Sure. But yeah, I agree that it is ridiculous for Taylor Swift to expect people not to pay attention to her love life and her personal relationships when all of her music is about that. It necessarily draws attention to her personal life. And with her level of celebrity, it comes with the territory. So I don't really sympathize when she cries about and whines about that.
Yeah, I don't feel bad at all. Do you guys remember, you may have been a little bit too young, but when Lady Gaga first became famous, like in 2008, everyone accused her of being a man. Do you remember that?
Really?
No.
Yeah. They talked about like whether or not she had like a penis.
Why?
Like openly, like, and I think they would ask her.
They're like, so
well, knowing Lady Gaga, she would
like,
probably be like, yes.
Oh yeah, she totally leaned into it because I don't know.
Like, so got dick?
Yeah, which I mean, like, especially back then, that was a little bit offensive. Like in hindsight, that's kind of messed up to be like, you kind of have man vibes. Do you have a penis?
Which
it's like, why
I
are
don't
we
think
talking
she
about my
does.
genitalia? Yeah. So I don't feel bad that people are speculating about Taylor Swift's sexuality, like, at all. It's not
right.
It's not like a.
I'm gonna call them crazy because they are crazy, but it's not like they, deeply dehumanized her or something, and they should be silenced for doing so.
Right.
Will you read some of these like quotes from the article about how it relates to patriarchy? It's insane.
Oh gosh, it's 5,000 words long, so it might take me a second to.
There are some
find
insane like passages from this article that make these insane claims that they're the type of thing where if you even ask the person a single follow-up question, if you're like, what exactly do you mean by that? They likely don't have an answer for you because they're just cobbling together buzzwords. And it's absolutely bonkers. But I wonder, like, how I guess it speaks to the strength of Taylor's ability to evoke from people that that they do feel that strongly about it. It's just that art has to be interpreted differently per person.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's people who have listened to so much Taylor Swift. Like, eventually, those lyrics and her influence does affect your psyche and your view of reality.
Well, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but like honestly, that's why I think she's like.
I mean, I used to talk about how like certain TV shows could affect my mood if I was watching them in blocks.
Yeah.
Like you watch enough of House in a row and it will make you a bit nihilistic and depressed about humanity.
All types of art can affect your mood
and
affect your emotions and affect your actions.
Yeah.
That's why I viscerally do not like Taylor Swift, because I think that overall her lyrics are like anti-male and like they're patriarchal in and of itself, or they promote this idea of like the patriarchy.
No, okay, that was one of the quotes. Maybe you can answer this one. You got that one?
Okay, so it says, there's such public devotion to the traditional narrative Taylor Swift embodies because American culture enshrines male power. In her sweeping essay, Compulsory Heterosexuality and Lesbian Existence by lesbian feminist poet Adrienne Rich, identified the way that male power cramps, hinders, or devalues women's creativity. All of the sexist undertones with which Taylor Swift's work can be discussed flow from compulsory heterosexuality, or the way patriarchy draws power from the presumption that women naturally desire men. She must write about men she surely loves or be unbankable. She must marry and bear children or remain a child herself. She must look like, in her words, a sexy baby or be undesirable, a monster on the hill. A woman who loves women is most certainly a monster to a society that prizes male power.
Here's the problem with that. Everything that they just described is an effective marketing strategy to women, not to men. There may be patriarchal male executives who tell you this will actually be effective, but at the end of the day, you're not marketing these things to men. You're marketing these things to fellow women because it speaks to their world, their life experience, because it resonates with them. She is what Barbie was for movies. She is the proper marketing tool, and the reason why women are willing to spend money on her art and her music and going to buy her album 5 times over is because it implicitly speaks to their life experience through unique song structure, all of these things. The problem is it doesn't fit this writer's experience, which has nothing to do with patriarchy.
Well, I also think it's very insidious that she's framing this presumption that women naturally desire men as something that's a result of cultural conditioning rather than our biology and our spiritual design to be complementary with each other. Right. And that's really kind of the linchpin in all of gender and queer ideology anyway. But, you know, women do naturally desire men, and men naturally do desire women. Yep. As inconvenient as that truth is for some people. But I just want to mention that only months ago, when Taylor Swift was releasing her re-recorded version of the 1989 album, she published a prologue to it where she complained about this very issue that people speculate about what her sexuality is. So she said, "If only I hung out with my female friends, people couldn't sensationalize or sexualize that, right? I would learn later on that people could and people would." Women, so she is frustrated.
Not people, women.
Yeah. Women could and women did. She is voicing her frustration with exactly this type of person that is looking for the Easter eggs about whether or not she is queer.
Well, this is her own fault because she loves including Easter eggs in her music and stuff like that. You don't get to speculate.
Oh yeah, I don't feel bad for her at all.
Like, I wonder if it's affected her female relationships. Like if her close female friends are like, is this a hug or is this something more?
Yeah, I believe that Taylor Swift is asexual and that she has no interest in relationships or connection really, because she's just such a ruthless businesswoman.
She's just a bot.
She really is so concerned with her career and her public image that relationships really fall to the wayside.
Yeah.
I believe that more than she's like super into men, right?
Yeah.
Men are accessories to her.
Totally.
They serve her interests.
Yep.
I don't believe she's a lesbian because of that. That's definitely a stretch.
I find the ability to always bring it back to the vague accusation of patriarchy, which, like I said, any of those statements before, all you have to say is, what did you mean by that? What does that mean?
Could you elaborate?
Well, she'll write another 5,000-word essay to explain exactly what she meant while explaining nothing.
Yes.
Because that's what all academics do.
Yes. It doesn't explain anything. It doesn't explain to me why the majority of the money that she makes comes from women but benefits men. What, I guess the music executive, she's known to be a ruthless businesswoman. Is she not the biggest beneficiary of her work? not the patriarchy. I guess you could say that the biggest beneficiary is societal norms. Well, she nowadays seems to be the exception rather than the rule. The reason why I think they gravitate to her so much is because she is this last gasp of heterosexual Americana in a way that feels like, for the most part, you don't get a whole lot of these days, especially in an industry that's so obsessed with unique or at least minority race and gender, right? Like she is, for once, the majority speaking to the majority, and people don't feel like you get a whole lot of that now. So it's slim pickings if you want to talk about somebody
Right.
who does that. So
Yeah, so
like the rest of, think about who the others. Like we have Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, both are LGBTQ. at least have said
Right.
so in the past. Taylor Swift is that last artist who's just, it's the same thing that said about Justin Bieber, right? That he might have been the last great pop
White,
star,
straight
white straight
male.
male pop
Yeah.
star who it doesn't have to be the Harry Styles, where he at least winks and nods to, minority race and gender constantly.
Well, if Justin Bieber at his height came out as gay, yes, that would have hurt his career because his fan base was females who were attracted to him and had this fantasy of having a chance with him. Taylor Swift's career, insofar as she is successful because a lot of young women live vicariously through her glamorous lifestyle and her love life, yeah, it probably wouldn't be benefited by her coming out as gay.
No, I think it would have either actively hurt her or it wouldn't have done anything. But more than likely, to me, I think it would have actively hurt her because her oppressor versus oppressed Marxist songwriting style with men plays such a huge role in her appeal.
True.
that takes on an entirely new meaning if she is now gay or bisexual.
Although I do believe there's a short-term incentive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
She would be. It would be a supernova.
When I explained
Yeah.
this, when I was trying to explain how I felt about this to Mary earlier, I said she's actually bigger than these movements. Like
Yeah.
she goes to any of these, like Taylor Swift goes to any of these women's summits that I guarantee you, look it up right now. Is there a women's summit going on right now? She's the biggest person to go there. She is the most famous person to go there. The same would be true if she started going to GLAAD events or things like that. She is larger than the movement.
Yep.
So
I wonder if there is a women's summit going on.
I get there's
sure.
like women's convention, women's summit, women's meetup. Like just look up women patting themselves on the back and see what comes up, and then dates.
2024 Global Summit of Women, Women in Tech Global Summit. That's happening in May.
Pat the plumber says, did Brett just call Biebs great? Yes, he was. Whatever you think of him as a musician, he was this last, really, really big, straight, white, male pop, teen sensation pop star.
This is so insane.
Yeah.
The Forbes Women's Summit happened 3 weeks ago. There is now starting in a week, the Gatherverse She Summit. It's another tech summit. The 2024 National Conference for Women is happening in March. The Women's Health Summit is happening in February.
I'm going to make my own. I'm just going to have my own. Who wants to come? You ladies want to come?
Financial Times Women in Business Summit 2024. It's
sure
literally a never-ending list.
It's time, guys, for us to start having the men's summits.
It's
We
about
just need to-
time.
we need to get together and talk about how awesome we are and how the gynocentric longhouse that we now live in is holding us back.
Brett freely used the term longhouse. Score. Okay, let's go to Superchats. OrganizedBusinessServices.com said, Brett, don't dye your hair. My opinion, very gay. Do you think it has gay undertones? I never thought that.
Frosted tips maybe, but the whole thing.
I don't know.
Frosted tips is just, you haven't caught up with the times.
Yes. And I'm never dyeing my eyebrows.
Corey Anderson said, Brett, next time you go blonde, do the eyebrows as well.
Never going to happen, my friend.
Just a word of advice.
Never going to happen.
The Undertaker said the AI app is just a flashlight for female nature.
Which AI app?
Yeah.
The live stream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It is.
Because they're like, oh, he has lots of followers. He must be high status. Corey Anderson said, cue the I would let Mary unalive me with a golf club in her DMs.
What like a
hopefully not.
like a 9-iron, 7-iron, driver, wedge,
Let's not get into the specifics.
putter.
All the
A
same
putter
to
would
me.
be difficult.
Let's do one more and then
Okay.
let's move on. Let's get a third crisis party, guys.
Carnell said Katie O'Brien would have definitely been my choice for the role of Abby. She's not well known in comparison to Caitlin Dever, but she's jacked. Check her out and watch the trailer for Love Lies Bleeding.
We'll have to check that out. Let's hold off on the rest. All right, let's come back after the fact. We're living in a very, very, very weird time to be alive now, guys. As you know, the world that we live in is seemingly to become more digital every day. We spend less and less time talking to people face to face and a hell of a lot more time communicating online. Well, that's not the only thing that's happening online these days, is it, Mary?
There are vile crimes being committed in the metaverse. And you're laughing. And you're laughing. So now police in the UK are investigating a disturbing case. The Daily Mail reported on this. British police probe virtual rape in the metaverse. A young girl's digital persona was sexually attacked by a gang of adult men in an immersive video game, sparking the first investigation of its kind and questions about the extent current laws apply in the online world. This is, of course, happening in the UK because over there they do not have freedom of expression on the internet. And they introduced this online safety bill that's only a year old. And it has a very broad scope, but it essentially means that anything you do or say on the internet that the UK government deems inappropriate, they can throw you behind bars for doing it. So I assume that this would also apply to the metaverse. Police in the United States would never waste their time with something like this.
Can't even get to come out to real crimes here.
Yes. So this is actually, kind of a disturbing story. I'm not going to equate it to the real life crime, but they only identified this girl as being under the age of 16, and they didn't say what game it was that she was playing while this alleged virtual rape occurred. It says that the headset-wearing victim did not suffer any injuries as there was no physical attack. Wow, shocking.
Thanks for clarifying.
But
What if it's
officers said she
stigmata?
suffered.
What if it's like stigmata and it appears on your body as it happens digitally?
The officers investigating the case said she suffered the same psychological and emotional trauma as someone who has been raped in the real world, as the VR experience is designed to be completely immersive.
This is interesting because I had this discussion. I think it was on Camelot's stream where I was talking about there is redemption for people who commit murder. There is no redemption for people who commit sex crimes. Right? So what's interesting is like people get shot in video games every single day. People die in absurd and painful and grotesque ways in video games every single day. But you would never, I mean, maybe that, like, you're not going to see a video game in the mainstream that's going to make it applicable to then commit a sex crime against someone because it's viewed as equally or more horrific than that of simply just ending someone's life.
How do you even do that in the metaverse? Like, doesn't it have to be programmed to
Be
let
able
you
to do
be
that,
able to,
yeah.
to even do that?
Yep.
I guess it just means that different avatars surrounded her in the metaverse. I really don't know because they wouldn't give us more details. But as soon as this story was published, they were echoing exactly what you just said, Brett. Couldn't she have just turned it off? Can we focus on real life crime, please? I was killed in the war video game Call of Duty. I've been waiting for my killer to be brought to justice.
to the digital Hague, well, they will be tried for war crimes.
It's absurd on its face. And yeah, it's unfortunate and sad that a child was exposed to sexuality on the internet, although that happens every day. And never do police pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, in the UK, there are grooming gangs routinely being ignored and let off by the police, not being investigated by the police in the UK. Yet they are directing all of their resources and attention to a metaverse virtual gang rape. It's just absurd. It really is. It's ridiculous. So I guess that this might be referring to the meta game Horizon Worlds. It's reportedly been the site of several sexual assaults. In 2022...
So is it just like yelling? I'm assuming it's just yelling like sexual comments at her?
I don't know. I don't know. They would have to tell us more. But in 2022, a psychotherapist doing research on the metaverse wrote about the surreal nightmare of being gang raped in Horizon Worlds. Quote, unlike in the physical world, there's a lack of clear and enforceable rules in the metaverse. And then a spokesperson for Meta responded to this situation and said that this is virtually impossible because users in the metaverse have an automatic protection called personal boundary, which keeps people you don't know in the metaverse a few feet away from you. So there's not really a way that they could surround you.
Yeah.
If there's literally, it's coded into the game, whatever game this was, that they can't approach you.
Right.
So yeah, it doesn't really make sense. But the police in the UK are taking this very seriously. Home Secretary James Cleverly defended the VR rape probe, saying, I know it is easy to dismiss this as not being real, but the whole point of these virtual environments is they're incredibly immersive. And we're talking about a child here, and a child has gone through sexual trauma. It will have had a very significant psychological effect, and we should be very, very careful about being dismissive of this.
How do you know it will have that? How does he know that?
I mean, it does, but like when a child gets their hands on the internet and they watch pornography, do you blame
point.
the actors for the trauma that's done to the kid, or is it the responsibility
He's saying
of their
as though
parent?
that's a for sure thing. I'm just saying that, like.
Well, I assume they've interviewed
Okay.
supposed victim, and that's how they would have found out. But they said that someone willing to rape a child's avatar in a video game may well be someone that could go on to do terrible things in the physical realm. But how would these adult men in the VR game have known that this was an underage user in the game? Like, they would literally have no idea if that was the case. And then Ian Critchley, the lead.
There's a strong point to be made here where the discussion about whether online violence equates to real life violence has been going on for decades. And to this day, you know, you still hear people having this debate that just because you go and slaughter people in video games does not mean that you yourself are going to go pick up an AR-15 and do something violent. There are thousands of factors in your life that come into play along with the media you consume that go into making you the person that you are. Okay. And the behavior of people in these environments does not necessarily, because I don't like the idea that they're equating the saying like, these people will then go out and do this in the real world. Right.
It's completely different.
Yes.
There's no precedent or pretense for them to prosecute these individuals. If they do, that would be an insane
I have to assume
story.
that what they're saying here is that sexual comments were hurled at this person while they couldn't get away because.
But you can get away because you can take off the headset. How is, to quote Tyler, the creator, how is cyberbullying real? Boop. Just close your eyes.
Right.
What is the disconnect here? I mean, I understand this is a child. It's difficult for children to differentiate make believe from reality. And yeah, anyone who is that young should not even be on the internet unsupervised in general. Anyone that young should not be exposed to the crass and vulgarity that's on the internet amongst adults. That's not appropriate. But when will the online safety bill in the UK also prosecute parents for neglect of their children when they are consistently allowing them to use the internet unsupervised and unlimited access that is resulting in all of this psychological trauma? When are the parents going to be prosecuted?
My thought was maybe this girl, like for all we know, this girl was in the metaverse behind her parents' back. So then what do you do about that?
She, I don't know, a 12-year-old purchased a VR headset behind her parents' back.
Well, I mean, like if it was
I don't know,
there,
it's very
I don't know,
far-fetched. It's a far-fetched theory.
We have VR here, and there's kids that come here sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I just mean it's hard to, because then you're going to be like prosecuting parents for like crimes that happened against their kids in the metaverse, and I just feel
I'm
like
only
it's gonna
saying
get
it
more
would
and
be
more
consistent.
meta, you know?
I'm just saying, like, if they're going to be
yeah,
policing
I
the
see what you
internet this heavily in the UK, and thankfully this is not a precedent in the US. You know, it would only be philosophically consistent for that law to apply to parents who are not properly vetting the way that their kids are using the internet. And if it has these detrimental results where you are just as traumatized as someone who suffered a physical attack, then they are responsible. But I don't even accept the idea that they are suffering the same trauma as they had, or if they would have if they were a physical attack, because that's kind of insulting to the survivors of these physical attacks.
Yeah.
We have a $20 super chat here from the Manic Mustache. Says, guess this is the safest place to say this. Back in 2001, I too was a victim of serial assault. My Call of Duty avatar was teabagged so many times, I just thought it was normal. Got really awkward IRL.
That sounds incredibly traumatizing. I hope that you have healed from that in years of therapy. And we see you and we validate you. You're valid. You're seen and heard.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, this is a sad story, but at the same time, it's so absurd that I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's not funny. It is.
I think the big question here is, who do we hold accountable for the traumatization of children by things that they are inevitably, in some circumstances, exposed to on the internet?
All of the articles are talking about how can Facebook and Meta, how can Facebook protect women and children? Well, I don't know about the women part, but I know the children part. The parents can protect the children by paying closer attention to how they're spending their time.
Yeah, the Guardian article about this solely places the blame at Meta's feet. They said Meta has a notoriously bad track record when it comes to protecting children and teenagers using their platforms. They're citing other cases related to Facebook and Instagram where, a lot of children have used these platforms against the TOS, sidelining the age requirements.
The fact that this is a police investigation at all is bonkers.
It is, but it's Britbong, so what else are you going to expect? They don't have any freedom of expression there, and it literally falls to the whims of the government what they're allowed to do or say in real life and on the internet. The online safety bill, part of the reason they introduced it, they cited Andrew Tate as one of the reasons they introduced the online safety bill, because they're worried about young boys getting radicalized by Andrew Tate's YouTube videos.
I got a $20 super chat here from Crispy Leg Transport LLC. Says, this story has to be a troll story. No, my friend, this is not a troll story. This has been reiterated through every major news article outlet has covered this. So
it's all
not
real.
At all.
Yeah.
It's unless you want to say that the UK is a troll, in which case you may be right.
Yeah. Not a real country, bro. Not a real country.
All right. I don't know where to go with this. All I know is I'm very grateful that I live here where I am free to be attacked in the metaverse if that is to if that is to happen.
But we are not endorsing harassing people in the metaverse.
Don't.
It's a bad thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just
it's a bad thing, but it's not a crime.
Yes. All right. Let's go super chats.
Sarenko Productions said, I didn't hate the storyline of The Last of Us, but I also wasn't as attached to Joel as most people were. I thought it was an interesting but flawed sequel.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably how most people feel about it. It wasn't a strong ending. Andrew Yu said, did you guys see Taco Bell's less than $3 menu? It's following in the footsteps of McDonald's. Scary times we live in.
Less than $3 menu? My goodness, back in my day, we went uphill to school both ways and stopped at McDonald's for the dollar menu on the way home.
I remember when an ice cream cone was only $1.
Oh my God.
Shedding a single tear right now.
My favorite is the one that says like Wendy's in the yellow cup used to just hit different.
Wait, what?
Wendy's used to be in yellow, not red. Yeah. There's also this really interesting article about why all fast food places use red and yellow. Because I saw this thing the other day. It says like, how did McDonald's, or I don't know who, it was like, how did so and so know how to use? Who knew that red and yellow was such a good combination? And somebody just put Hulk Hogan. Somebody else put McDonald's, and then they go through the list of all the places that use those color combinations.
It activates your lizard brain.
Yep.
Yorishima Otaru said Lil Nas X is gay, and I don't mean the sexuality. Of course, you mean it in the immature, pejorative sense, as always. DCNC said, played the Last of Us game online a far bit. If they were pandering to the real fans, there'd be way more trolling, swearing. Russians saying, I don't know what that is.
I'm assuming it's some type of slur.
Yeah, I guess. Yes, a slur in Russian. The Undertaker said, maybe be Christ-like and forgive Nas 10. Also, you can't punch down at God. If the big guy isn't that upset about it, why are we? I mean that he was punching down to Christians because historically, you know, Christians don't commit violent terrorist attacks on anyone who disrespects their religion. Corey Anderson said, the God from Genesis shall have a word with Lil Nas X. Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, Lil Nas X is all about trolling. It just feels try-hard. We know transubstantiation hasn't occurred, but we know he's doing it to get a rise and piss us off. The faith bashing is honestly dull now.
You know what's not dull now, though? Hitting the like button on this video. You should do
So
that
true.
right now. It would be,
Agreed.
there's never a dull moment if you hit the like button.
Shane H. Wilder said, Brett's blue dabba dee da blue da blue. But
Yes.
I don't know. I can't say that.
I don't know what that means.
It's from the song. Blue.
No, I
yeah.
know, but I'm just saying.
He also said, wait, there's a Swiftie group called the Gaylords. The Gaylor
That would be
Swifts.
even better.
Also, guys, I ended the poll. I asked, will you watch The Last of Us Season 2? 81% said no. No.
Wow.
Just 18% said yes.
I don't blame you. Pat the Plumber said Taylor Swift is a name I hear way too much. Well, that's why she was the Time Person of the Year.
Tell that to the culture, my friend.
Dreamcast Night said the...
We did that one.
wait, what?
We already did that one. It's a $20 one.
No, this is a $2 one.
Oh, under that? Oh, yep,
He
there
said
it is.
the Bop Hansen, not the commentator.
Okay. From the band, Hanson.
Okay. Kobe McGuire said, back to The Last of Us 2. In the trailer, they showed Joel saying a line, but in the game, a different character said the same line, and I was pissed.
They love to mislead in trailers.
Interesting. Pat the Plumber said, gay?
With about
Question mark, question mark,
five
question
or 7 or 8 A's and 4 Y's.
Gay?
That sounds about right.
DCC said, anyone know how I can find me some of that male power? Should I set up an OnlyFans? Oh, right, I gotta work for a living. Oh, so true. Thank you, guys.
You could go to Brett's Summit.
Yes. When
what
I
I was
have
gonna say.
when I
We need the
have
Brett
my
Men's Summit.
When I have the men's summit, guys,
That's where it'll be.
It's gonna be great.
Pat the Plumber said, Mary, do you still have your Bieber poster? I had more than a Justin Bieber poster. I had many Justin Bieber posters, and I had 2 life-size cardboard cutouts of Justin Bieber.
Adorable.
Many magazines.
Favorite Justin
That was
Bieber
like
song?
me with Aaron Carter.
Oh, really?
Well, I had one poster, which for me was a big deal.
Favorite Justin Bieber song?
Gosh, I don't know. It's been a while since I went back and listened to his music, to be honest. But I actually donated all of that to Believers in Need. So don't have
Is that like a
any of it
charity?
anymore.
Is that real?
Is that for like poor Justin Bieber fans?
I'm kidding, but I did give them away to other girls
Okay.
who wanted them. DD Megadoodoo 97 said, da 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 da, let the boys be boys summit.
There will eventually be a Let the Boys Be Boys summit someday. Can't even say that phrase anymore because it's coded as somehow rape apologist.
Oh, right, as if that's ever what it meant.
Yeah. Well, you know what happens. It's always about some like just absolute awful human being who's like a leader of a frat, and he just does some unspeakable crime, and like the head of the school's like, boys will be boys. Just no.
Pat the Plumber said slam. I don't know. Is that like an acronym for something?
Okay.
Username I'm not going to read said all these female summits and nothing getting done.
Yep. Well, typical.
Really makes you go,
It's like when men go to lunch to discuss a specific topic, women go to lunch to just talk in circles.
Yeah. The Undertaker said, I was virtually unalived in Call of Duty. My assailants have not been identified, and this trauma will stay with me forever. No, wait, I respawned. Shane H. Wilder said, is the UK gonna go after everyone who said they were going to do something in Minecraft? Parents, pay attention to what your kids are doing online.
Yep.
Solid advice for everyone. The Manic Mustache said, no therapy. I just rubbed some dirt on it and walked it off. So much sand between the cheeks.
Is that digital dirt? Like online?
Digital
Is it
dirt
like
in Call of Duty?
Metaverse dirt?
Not that John Stewart said, McDonald's Big and Tasty used to be $1. We used to be a country.
We really did.
A proper country.
Ladies and gentlemen. I've seen that phrase enter the mainstream now.
Where did it come from? I don't remember.
But I saw that for one the other day because there's now like a Pizza Hut classic that exists that has the salad bar and the cups and everything.
Nice.
And it just says on the top of it, like of the memes, it says, we used to be a proper country.
Where is that?
I think there's one in Chicago, like in Illinois somewhere.
That would be worth a trip.
I've got it bookmarked on my Instagram to go both there and to the Roller Kingdom from the Rhett and Link ad someday. Those will be my pilgrimages.
Would you ever go to a roller rink, or is that
I went to the roller rink when I was very young. Yes,
but would you go
Have
as
you
an
been
adult?
A lot of dudes will go with their families and stuff like that, or they'll do stuff like that.
But
in
would
Minnesota, I wouldn't. I just no. But like a lot
As
of
a single adult male, would you go to
what
the
a lot of
roller
them do,
rink?
like in Minnesota.
He starts grinding on
No, we used to get in trouble for that. We used to get in trouble for doing that. But now, like what a lot of them do is like in Minnesota, it was the Metrodome back in the day. I forget what they call that stadium now, but like they have a thing where you can go skate around the stadium at night, like because the where all the restaurants and all of the concessions are is all like really nice concrete. So in the winter, people will go and they do skating nights there, and it's good exercise.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The Manic Mustache said, why are we not asking the real questions? Who made the grape button in this game?
I have questions, right?
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, also praying for y'all tonight with Mean Girls. Thank you. We'll need it.
I just want to skip it.
I'm so sorry for you guys.
I just want to skip it.
So sorry.
You could have stopped me.
I might just lie. Just like, yeah, I watched it.
I bought the tickets. You could have stopped me from clicking that button.
You could have stopped me from not stopping you by not doing it.
DCNC said, regarding metaverse bullying, assailants could have been located anywhere in the world. British police going to request extradition?
Is it like digital extradition? Do they just extradite your avatar?
Like,
You have
what
to
are
put
they
your
doing?
headset on between like this time and this time to
Yep.
go to virtual court.
I feel bad because like the parents and the girl are gonna think that something is gonna come of this investigation, and nothing will. Obviously, Corey Anderson said Mary needs an OF where she just scolds the thoughts on OF.
Well, wasn't that what Lydia did? Like when she left, right? She made the fake OF that was just scolding people. Maybe like that was like an
It was
idea.
like for her cat or something.
Yeah.
I thought she
yeah.
was just gonna use it as like a Patreon page,
Yeah.
basically.
There you go.
Pat the plumber said, I clicked yes on the poll, but then you spoiled the season, so
The data is misrepresented now. Sorry, guys.
it's been a few years. I feel like you should know. Not that John Stewart said, year-long set of women's summits. That's why I don't have a sandwich in front of me.
They're too busy. They're out there. Like,
What if they made
what-
sandwiches? It's a women's sandwich summit.
Who the hell? Yeah, who the hell makes
it would be productive.
Who makes the finger food for the women's summits? Is it only men that do that?
Yes, yeah.
I guess men are the better
male wait
chefs
staff.
anyway. So yeah, I like that. I like the idea that they're there and like the women at the summit, like, who made this? Just to double check that there were no women making the sandwiches at their summit.
High Voltage 75 said, Mr. Brett, you should get Chris to integrate the dollar amount on the crisis meter like on Gamer Maids. Seems long overdue. What does that mean?
Like a dollar amount on the bottom so they can see on the meter what dollar amount.
I didn't
we're
know
at.
that Gamer Maids had that, but yeah, that might be helpful.
If you're wondering, we're just a little over $40 away from the next crisis meter. And listen, if anybody, a next crisis party, if somebody wants to make that happen, I can be the number amount there, even though I'm not good at math.
Yeah, who needs AI?
Yeah,
we got
exactly.
Brett.
I'm horrible at math. You don't want me doing your math. You want to see a panic face? Look at me when I'm trying to figure out tipping amounts. I just tip high and I'm like, this has got to be more than 20%.
You don't just use your calculator?
No, I just go high. I just 20, 30% and or 30, probably closer to 30, 35% every time. That way you're just not worrying about under
Don't look
tipping.
like a jerk.
My mom was not a good tipper, which I always held against her. She
gonna
would
call her
hit
out.
she would hit you with that one. She's like, well, if they don't want to do that, they should have a different job. And I'm like,
Or the restaurant should pay them more.
yes.
Which they should.
Yes.
They should.
No, I mean, most people who work in those industries would tell you they would rather make less and get tips than...
Yeah, I guess it depends on what it is. Pat the plumber said, "Do you guys feel traumatized when we hold you hostage?"
I do right now if this keeps happening, but let's go.
Yeah, the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
For the movie,
We do
so.
got to get going, so...
Shane H. Wilder said they extradite you from COD to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Call of Duty to the Mushroom Kingdom. And then DC&C says Stockholm Syndrome from the virtual hostaging. Yes, I do. I have fallen in love with my captors. All of them. All 993 that are watching. Corey Anderson says, Mary, can you push your bangs back so we can see how big your forehead is?
I'd rather not, but you can look at my Instagram from when I didn't have bangs.
Have you always had bangs? I guess I've never,
this is a relatively new thing.
Like, since you've been here, though, you haven't.
I don't want to because I don't put makeup on my forehead because it doesn't show anyway. So I'd rather not show that.
It's like the people who go on anytime they go on Zoom, they have to have not being wearing pants. They just can't wear pants. Like, there's something about guys.
We do wear pants on PCC, just so you know.
There's something about men who do Zoom meetings for some reason. These corporations that they always get caught standing up and they're in their boxers, and you're just like,
no Jeffrey Toobins will be happening on PCC. We promise you that.
And I'm not just talking that. Like when I do other people's shows and I'm just in my room, I always have pants on. I'm at work. I'm working.
But yeah, there are a lot of pictures of me without bangs on Instagram.
The Underp Taker says the question of who makes the sandwiches is why there is more domestic violence in a less bean marriage.
That and two people who won't apologize.
Yes. And then Mike Hunt gave us the next crisis party. He says, "Let's go."
Thank you.
$50. Thank you so much.
From Canada.
Thank you.
Nice.
We won't hold that against him.
Yes.
Frostback currency is good here. Disco Jensen says, the stuff I've heard and been called in Call of Duty and Halo lobbies could be considered hate crimes by today's standards. I'm not traumatized. People are just weak. Have you ever seen that guy's YouTube channel, the guy who does Stay Toxic Kings?
I've heard the phrase.
Yeah,
and it's this guy who does these videos where he's like it's all about making like that's what I thought.
Is it like send her a message at 11:11 so that she thinks you're soulmates?
Except for his his are more like his are even worse, and it's very clearly satire. But he did this one. He's like I miss being called names on the internet, basically, because like he's like the race because he's a black dude. He's like today's racism just doesn't hold up to the racism of the Call of Duty lobbies of the early 2010s.
It don't hit the same.
Yeah. Pat the plumber says let's go. Oh wait, no, he says let's go or let's go. Both.
I would say question marks.
Not that John Stewart says, if you're stuck in a hostage party and you just happen to miss the start time of the movie, oh well, I would actually be okay with that.
There you go.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it YoPops215? You from Philly, my friend? Says Mary Forehead Morgan.
This is totally going to be a thing now.
What? Why?
Pat the plumber says confirmed Mary's a robot. Yeah, maybe that's
Wait,
where the
what?
updates-
Oh, they want to see if you're like.
Is that where your
CPU
updates go in?
Yeah.
It's like no,
It
Mary
lights
pulls her
up.
bangs back and there's like a QR code there for like.
With like,
It's like a USB
Yeah.
hanging
Yeah.
out.
my machinery. Someone was also asking if I'm AI earlier. Like,
Very, very possible.
It's not true.
Some people have said that you stand unbelievably still during the show, so maybe you're fake.
Well, but you're always like moving around a lot. So in comparison, like I look like a robot.
I'm and it's even worse like when I'm doing other people's streams and I'm not because here I'm tethered to like buttons in the stream deck and the keyboard. On other streams I'm like so.
But you get up a lot from your chair.
Anyways, and I'm moving all around.
You get up from your chair a lot.
I do this a lot.
Yeah, like what is that about?
I don't sit still well at all. I
That's
don't.
why they put you on Ritalin in second
It
grade.
was a horrible idea. $2 from Corey Anderson says, Mary, you're awesome.
LOL. Thanks.
All right, guys. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel and help us get to 100,000 subscribers, please? Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. Check us out on castbrew.com and also check out our new commercial with Alex Stein that just dropped. You can find it on our Twitter
fun.
or our X at castbrewcoffee. It is hilarious. We don't endorse anything that was done in that commercial, but you should check it out. And the Alex Stein blend also just came out with 2 times the amount of caffeine as all of our other coffee.
I believe that.
That's nice.
Got one more here from the Underp Taker.
It's not
got that one?
showing up for me in the spreadsheet.
Says the forehead thing isn't that odd. It's like when women only shave the part of their legs that can be seen below the cuffs of their pants.
Oh yeah, some people do that.
Yeah.
Did we get another?
No, that was that one that came through. All right, Mary.
Okay.
Where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Yep.
I am so excited to see Mean Girls.
Somebody, if somebody wants to like help me get out of this somehow, I don't know how that would be, but just help.
You're
me
just gonna like intentionally wreck your car.
I might. Oh no, I might
to a
just be like,
tree.
oh, it's not starting.
Oh no!
Oh no, guys! If you, we got one more here from Gordon Shumway. Says Mary, it could always be worse. Mary Fivehead Morgan would be horrible. Thank you. I'll see myself out.
That would be horrible, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And one more here from Pat the Plumber says, consume coffee responsibly.
Yes.
Yes. All right, guys. If you want to follow me, Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. If you want to follow the show on social media, we're on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Remember, we are also on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Pandora, and Spotify. Guys, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow and a review of Mean Girls.
Woo.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.